Well, salutations, good morning, good afternoon, and or good evening, wherever you may find yourself orientated within this universe, and welcome back to another broadcast. We are Ultrasonic Blur. We hope that you find yourselves well, and if not, we hope whatever is ailing you is easily fixable, and if not, well, then we hope we can offer some entertainment in these more trying of times. We are back for some fun with Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney games, and my goodness gracious me, what the hell went on last time? Well, we ended up inside a book. Salutations, sunshine. It is a pleasure to see you here. We hope you find yourself well. We're now doing a witch trial. Now, I don't mean that in like some,
yeah, this is a witch trial. You're all hunting me and doing all that bullshit because I posted racist tweets online and now I'm getting in trouble for it.
No, I don't mean that kind of witch trial. I mean an actual witch trial. We have people who have been burnt with magic, and apparently it's the person who we're friends with, which, you know, I mean, here's the thing. We saw the cinematic that it did kind of happen, so I don't know how we get around that. Like, I don't know how we do that. I don't know how we get around that. But obviously, the Phoenix Wright, the Ace Baker, didn't see it. If she weighs as much as a duck, yes, we made that joke as well. if she could, what also floats on water? A duck, correct. So, if she weighs the same as a duck, she must be a witch. Who are you who is so wise in the ways of science? I'm going to quote fucking Holy Grail so much throughout this. But it looks like it's going to be a fun time, and it's good to see you as well, Star Eterna. So, let's continue on. And hopefully this time I don't fuck it up quite as badly as we did the last time. So am I, to be fair. Oh, now all we need is a rabbit with a vicious streak a mile long and we'll be alright. So yes. When we say, this was the cutscene, I think this is the right cutscene, right? Is it? I don't know. Yes, this is. Of course, we didn't see this. This is, oh, what is it? This is dramatic irony. This is what we see as the audience, but the people in the world don't know.
We don't want no fuss and we don't want to hurt you, all right?
That's a hell of an overbite, by the way.
That's all.
Yeah, we just want your money, that's all. I do like that voice.
Okay. Oh! Wait, that's something I didn't realize before. Was that her voice? Because I don't think that was. That was... Hang on, that was a higher pitched voice than hers. That was more sharp. Like, Espella's got this sort of breathiness to her voice the whole time she talks. That didn't have it. So I wonder if that was just like one of those like panics, like Ignace kind of things or not. Sorry, that was just a thing that I noticed now, and I hadn't noticed before, but that's interesting. What is this place? The room is lit, but it's still somehow dark, and the atmosphere feels heavy. Nick! What are we doing in a place like this? How should I know? We're just a couple of bakers, but I don't think they brought us here to break bread. But I don't think they brought us here to make bread. Yikes! Is it me or is that guard staring daggers at us right now? Mr. Wright, Maya. Mr. Wright, Maya. I assume it's the professor. Oh no, it's Espella. I was close. What's exactly going on? I'm sorry. I was the one who sent for you both. You sent for us? Great, so it's your fault I'm here! I'm being put on trial. Wait, what? What happened? I don't know. I just don't understand what's going on. I didn't do anything wrong. I couldn't possibly murder anyone. Murder? Oh yes, it's a murder trial, and, oh, that's great. I beg you, Mr. Wright, please, I need your help. Just one more time. Huh? You need my help? What could I possibly do? One violence! It's a... yes. Hate it when clans on trial for witchcraft and or murder and I'm forced to represent them via magic. Indeed. The only... Speller, I'm a baker. The only thing I know about law is how not to get on the wrong side of it. And even then, the best way to do that is to just not be anywhere near any law enforcement and spend as little contact with them as possible and interact with them as little as possible because they will find a reason because they need to pad their bottom line to make them feel like they're doing a good job. Remember, we live in A cab, but the K is for a K, not a C. All knights are bastards. Wait, hold on a sec. Speller, what did you just say? You said you needed Nick's help just one more time. One more time? I'm not quite sure myself, but when the knights came and took me, a vision suddenly appeared in my mind. It was Mr. Wright. And he was fighting for me, defending me. That brave blue figure. It was clear as day. I was fighting for you? No way. That's impossible. I mean, it's like I already said. I'm just a baker. I have a hard enough time rolling dough, let alone defending someone in court. I thought the same thing too at first, but I don't think that's quite true. You and Maya, at some time, somewhere, you helped me. You fought for me as a defender. A defender? What's wrong, Nick? I wish I knew Maya, but hearing a speller mention a defender? I can't help but feel something inside of me just burning at the mention of it.
Accused! Defender! It is time! Head forth, you two!
Head forth? Where are we going exactly?
To the courtroom in which today's trial will be taking place. The Chamber of Fire.
Chamber of Fire?
Make haste! But if you are but a moment late, a guilty verdict will be delivered immediately.
What? No way! Mr. Wright. I am truly sorry, Mr. Wright. I know this is all so sudden, but it's a lost cause, isn't it? This is very little preparation the defense has set for the case. To be fair, this is actually about as much as Phoenix normally gets. I'd be going for a mistrial. I read that as minstrel first, but mistrial. I mean, good luck with that. He's a baker. He doesn't know what mistrial means. Well then, let's head inside, Espella. Huh? This overwhelming pressure, it feels so familiar somehow. It's almost like deja vu. Mr. Wright! Let's go, Maya. Maybe we'll get a better idea once the trial gets underway. Alright! Let's do it, Nick! Alright, our first witch trial. I still think it's funny that the, oh, never mind.
What is this heat? It's like an oven in here.
Oh.
I will now pronounce the verdict.
Okay.
This court finds the accused.
This court finds the accused
of being a witch.
guilty of being a witch. Okay, so his voice sits somewhere like this. Uh-oh. What? Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Wait. Wait, that's... Oh, holy shit. Fucking hell.
This is the witch's...
Hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. I gotta see something here. Where's the fucking... I've got a thing for the game somewhere. It's a fucking 12 Peggy rating. It's a fucking 12. The fuck do you mean that's a 12? It's a fucking 12? We just watched someone get burnt. Not quite at the stake, but in like this weird Iron Maiden contraption. Yeah. Thankfully that wasn't our client, so we're all okay, but you know. So, how are you feeling, Nick? I'd forgotten what this felt like up until now. Huh? Butterflies in my stomach, and the tension so thick you could slice it with a knife. All of these feelings? These are all feelings I'm definitely familiar with. Anyway, we're here to fight for Espella, and get her out of this place. That's right!
The court is
Ooh.
now in session for the trial of
Okay.
Espella Cantabella.
The court is now in session for the trial of Espella Cantabella. Somewhere in this range for the voice.
It's not down here for this judge.
It's up here with this one. Instead, you just don't breathe through your nose at all. This'll do, I suppose.
Defender,
Defender. Yes, somewhere here.
Yes, Your Honor?
That'll do.
yours is a face I've not seen in any past trials.
I like that. Ooh, that's a lovely deep voice.
But no
There.
matter. Start by stating your
Seems like a
name.
magnet for flour. It does, but that's why you wear an apron.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. How much of this is going to
My
be
name is Phoenix Wright, Ace Baker.
Ace Baker?
Baker?
A baker?
I asked him to come, my lord. I want him to represent me.
Mm-hmm.
This court dictates that the accused is free to assign a defender of
Yeah, the more I hear Espella's voice, the more I don't think that Ignace was hers. You hear what I mean? It's got this sort of breathiness in the top area of it. Don't wear a tie while baking, that's a faux pas. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Very well.
It's a
At any
brilliant
rate, the
villain
results of
voice.
this
I mean, he's not a
trial shall
villain,
not
he's just
change.
working for a corrupt system. Which in turn does make him a villain. No, you're right.
That aside, I've not yet seen hide nor hair of the Inquisitor assigned to this trial.
Oh,
Inquisitor.
wonder who that's gonna be.
Right. I should have noticed earlier.
Okay.
No one's there.
I should have noticed earlier. No one's there.
Should the assigned Inquisitor fail to appear in court, I will have no choice but to dismiss all charges.
That's... No, we'll wait, Your Honor.
He is an Inquisitor of high caliber, but if he does not come forward soon,
Your Honor, may I ask how long soon is? Just
this
because...
trial will end, and victory will then be declared in favor of this Baker.
Hold it!
Where's the pink suit guy? You mean Edgeworth or... Oh, hello. There's Edgeworth, there's Clavier, Gavin. Those are the only two names I know.
Wait, is this Inquisitor Buonum? Oh my goodness, it's Inquisitor Buonum!
Oh, okay. Alright, yeah, I kind of see what she meant.
Knights of the court,
Uh-huh.
I have but one question for you both.
Yes.
Are you prepared to cross swords?
Oh no, he has anime hair. Alright.
I, Inquisitor Zacharias Barnum.
Zacharias Barnum,
prepared
I'm
to
indeed
do battle, my lord.
I'm indeed prepared to do battle, my lord. Okay, so it's very much sort of the same similar idea as we do with Edgeworth, just a little bit more deeper and a little bit more pronounced on the Britishness. Good to know. That means he's competent.
Something amiss, Baker?
Sorry, Your Honor. I just didn't realize we could have swords here in the courtroom.
Nah.
It is the way of the court knight.
That crunchy fucking audio.
With a blade at his side.
For some reason, can you hear the fuzziness? Like, it's a little bit squaring on the edges. I don't know what it is. Why is that? Is it just the quality that they have for
Now
this?
then, state your name, sir.
New Knight.
Blue
Oh!
Knight.
Give me fact number 4, lest ye be cursed. Oh, no, I gotta find the damn thing. You want fact number 4. Fair enough, one violence. I was thinking of the grey-haired guy on the covers. That is, Miles Edgeworth, yes. You want fact number 4. Let me find that. Okay. Anton Chekhov had a pet mongoose. There you go. Is it because of the DS game? It might be, but I didn't think 3DS games would have been with it. But you can just hear there's like that slight compression and fuzziness to it. Feels weird.
Huh?
Yes, Sir Blue Knight.
My name's Phoenix Wright. I'm a baker. How many times will they make me say it?
At least once more.
A baker?
Nick, quit with the long face. You look miserable.
Yeah.
No need to waste your breath. This trial will be over before you can utter a single objection.
Oh, will it now? What if I said objection right now?
For the security of all of Labyrinthia,
But you hear whenever,
my blade
like,
shall rend your
Barnum's
body
really good because
quickly and
Barnum's
without
really expressive, but you can hear it. Chekhov's mongoose is a different dramatic principle, and few follow it. All right, we gotta figure out what's Chekhov's mongoose. Is it just a random thing that adds that Chekhov's mongoose? I've got it. It's a random thing that you want to put into a story that has no bearing or relevance whatsoever, but it's like your little pet thing. You know how they say kill your darlings? This is the opposite. Chekhov's mongoose is when you don't kill your darlings. There we go. There we go. That's Chekhov's mongoose. That's it, Barnum. Put another one out of their misery. This trial is pointless. Hand down the verdict already. Put that Dewey defender on trial too, I say. Barnum, Barnum, Maya. Yeah, so much for the not letting Nick have a long face, eh? Oh boy, what's with all this excitement? You'd hardly think this was in a courtroom. The crowd doesn't seem very interested in law, that's for sure. It's like they all just are hoping for a guilty verdict. Inquisitor Barnum, you may begin your opening statement. As you wish, my lord. First, let us begin by recounting the events leading up to the murder. Is that acceptable, Sir Apprentice Baker? As you wish. The murder occurred this very evening. Yesterday, there was heavy rainfall in the area. Eventually, it gave way to sunshine, which came just in time for today's parade. Although a few hours after the parade ended, the rain set in once more. It must have been when Speller and the others were at the Great Archive. It continued to rain until just before the incident, which took place on a small path leading to the market. A cool little detail added semi-late into the story, which has no bearing on the plot, but is a neat thing. Yes, also known as the Bombadil. Although that's actually the Bombadil's the Bombadil is the early version of that, when you put it in the beginning and then it just disappears and has no bearing whatsoever. It's kind of the anti-Chekhov's gun on that. The accused had been out doing some shopping at the market. She returned home on that very same path. And on that forest path, two rogues named Robs and Muggs are said to have accosted the accused. One could assume the accused simply acted in self-defense. I see. Robs and Muggs. Those two have appeared in court a number of times in the past. Two rogues, huh? So far, it may appear that the accused... Is it yeah, it is accused. There's no accursed. I was gonna say, the accursed would be quite a fun one for this if they're accusing them of being a witch. The accused was more the victim. However, the situation soon changed. That's right. The accused, Espella Cantabella, knowingly and mercilessly murdered her two assailants. Cantabella? That girl, isn't she? I always knew she looked suspicious. Shh! Not so loud. Yikes. There's that weird excitement again. I believe we now fully grasp what happened. It is getting late already. Let us begin the trial. Inquisitor Barnum, you may now begin. As you wish, my lord. The Inquisition will now hear eyewitness testimony regarding the night of the murder. Eyewitness testimony? Huh? Looks like this trial is finally getting underway. I can't back down now. I have to fight. But I'm still just a simple bread-making baker, living a simple bread-making life. This situation is more twisted than a pretzel, and I'm smack dab in the middle of it. But I have to do this to save Espella. Okay, Let's see if I can untwist this testimony and put this thing to bed. Bread, awesome. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Wait. Allow me to welcome you all. Now, would each of you please state your name and occupation? Wait. Hang on a second. Why the fuck are there 4 of them at the witness stand? Wait a minute. What's going on here? As I already explained, Sir Apprentice Baker, this is the eyewitness testimony. No, that's the eyewitnesses' testimonies. Yes, I understand that, but there are 4 witnesses. Indeed, this many people inside the courtroom could pose a health and safety issue. Your Honor, that's not quite what I meant. Witness testimonies are supposed to be done one by one, as in one witness at a time, so that their story can be—
What are you talking about, child? We'd be here all night if we did that.
That's right, young man. We have witnessed the very hand of fate reach out to us this evening.
Could we hurry this along, perhaps? These flowers won't sell themselves, as much as my boss wishes they would. Why are you picking the flowers then? Because you're just ruining the product? You're nervous.
The path to knighthood is an arduous one, but I remain steadfast in my resolve as I travel down this long road. I shall not falter! I shall be victorious!
Why has he got arrows on his eyebrows?
Who cares? Just question them all at once! We already know the girl in the cage did it. Let's get on with it.
Yeah, finish this already! I'd like to go back home and get to bed! Okay. Witnesses, again, state your names and occupations.
I'm known as Wordsmith. But what is in a name? How does one describe an occupation? Like the bubbling of a babbling brook. I flow gracefully around the rocks and debris that is life. Nary a worry in my mind.
Right, so I guess that means he's jobless.
Or retired. My name is Mary, and this darling kid is Snowy. Snowy and I often travel to the edge of town to sell delicious fresh milk. Milk like that doesn't happen overnight. I work my hands to the bone, squeezing his drop out. Literally.
That sounds pretty frightening. It's a very wiggly sword, I'm concerned. No, it's a whip sword, it's fine. I'm Kira. I'm a flower seller. If you'd all be so kind, feel free to purchase one of my beautiful flowers at any time during the trial. That's a daisy, isn't it? I think that's a daisy. Except the white ones. There's no way I'll sell them all by morning. Oh, the life of a flower girl is so hard. Sheesh, talk about a hard sell.
My name is Nightle. I aim to join the town's order of knights. I study night and day, though I am still but a mere squire. Joining the Knights of the Inquisition is my life's ambition. And I, Nightle, will do whatever necessary to join.
So he's jobless too. Honourable witnesses, I ask that you show this court your best when delivering your testimonies. Now, tell us what exactly you all saw on this ill-fated eve. Witness testimony. Well, this is gonna get messy. What we saw tonight. Great, so they can all fucking corroborate. That's gonna be making life fun.
The delicious scent of mid-evening dinner permeated the air, and a soft light shone faintly in the distance.
Mugs grabbed the girl by the arm. It looked like he almost pushed her to the ground.
I heard a faint voice cry out. The next moment, those 2 villainous men burst into flames.
There was not a trace of fire to be seen in the area. Without a doubt, magic must have been used.
Right. Magic? Sir Apprentice Baker, you may now begin your interrogation. I have but one piece of advice. I suggest you pay it heed. Do not waste the court's time by grilling these witnesses over irrelevant nonsense, Sir Apprentice Baker. Are you alright, Nick? They sure love calling you an apprentice baker, huh? I'll be honest with you, Maya. I have no idea how I'm feeling right now. But I know it's all up to me. As her defender, Ispella's fate is in my hands. I have to believe in her, and I need to start believing in myself. I can do this. I believe Ispella is innocent, and I'll fight until the end to prove it. Yeah, that's the spirit. We can do this thing, Nick. Okay, so am I not allowed to press them then? Because, like, his whole thing was don't press them over meaningless shit. Oh, that's gonna be fun. What we saw tonight. Delicious scent of mid-evening dinner permeated the air and a soft light shone, fading in the distance. Okay, so that's telling me what time it is. What evidence do I have? I have fucking nothing. I'm gonna have to get some more, so I need to press everything. What time would that be, exactly?
Dinner time! When else would the scent of dinner be in the air if not dinner time? Do you see?
Not so much. The sun had already set by that time. That should be adequate. The sun had already set. So you clearly witnessed what happened tonight, is that correct?
I have been dubbed a witness, thus I must have clearly witnessed something. Do you see?
In that case, how much light was there in the immediate area at the time?
Enough to see the nose on my face, but not enough to see the trees ahead. Do you see?
No. That doesn't add up. If the area was completely dark, then you couldn't possibly have witnessed anything. Do you see?
Nevertheless, something caught my eye. It was a most ominous sight. Ominous is what that sight was.
Okay, I get it. It was ominous.
Objection!
Poor form, Sir Apprentice Baker. I hate to disappoint you, but there was, in fact, light in the area. Huh? Take a look at this. This drawing of the crime scene, based on the witnesses' accounts, as penned by the court illustrator. The court illustrator? I've never heard of that before. Sure you have. Look carefully. This shows what the scene looked like at the time of the murder. Uh-huh. An illustration of the highest quality, as always. Now then, we have established that by the time of the murder, we have established that by the time the murder occurred, the sun had already set. And so naturally, the defendant was carrying a lit lantern, a fire-lit lantern, as we can see. A lantern?
Eureka! Indeed! Yes, that is what I was saying earlier! There was a lantern!
A lantern, I say! Objection, Your Honor. That's coaching the witness right now. Oh, please. You totally forgot. To be honest, I did not imagine it would be necessary to present this, but... Milord, here is the lantern in question. This is what was responsible for the light illuminating the area. Very well. The court accepts this into evidence. Great. Okay, I have that. A lantern Ispella was holding, the glass is broken and it is covered in mud. Speaking of which, Inquisitor Barnum, in this drawing, the accused seems to be holding a milk bucket of sorts. What became of this? That is a strange case indeed, my lord. That bucket seemingly disappeared from the murder scene. The milk bucket disappeared, you say? There has been talk of wolves living in the nearby forest. It is thought they often make off with the items they find on the ground. Great. Wolves that steal your stuff. Remind me to never set foot in that forest. This is great, Nick. We've got new evidence now. Yeah, I guess you're right. You know, Nick, you really don't look just like some normal run-of-the-mill baker. I'd say you're more like a somewhat articulate run-of-the-mill baker. I think you might even have a knack for this being a defender thing. There's a clear contradiction somewhere in that testimony, and I'm gonna find it. I mean, the only real thing I can think of right now is the fact that it looked like he almost pushed her to the ground. That's irrelevant. I heard a faint cry out. Next thing, the moment the two villagers burst into flames. There was not a trace of fire to be seen in that area. Without a doubt, magic must have been used. Well, here's the thing. There's a fucking lantern that was fire-lit.
Objection!
Yeah. Oh! He's doing the pose! I don't think he realized he's doing the pose.
What is the matter, Defender?
Well... What is this feeling? So sudden and new. Bump. Also, it kind of looks like Nick's head is outside of his collar right now because it's got the line. His neck looks really weird. I just felt the urge to shout out right from the bottom of my lungs. Objection. Whilst also pointing my finger. Objection. I can't help but feel this is a word I've used quite a bit in the past. That's it. I remember now. I remember everything! The legal leagues of attorneys, exchange, Isabella's trial, and then that strange book. This feeling. I feel like I can take on the world. Witness!
What's with the sudden pointing? I am a soon-to-be member of the Honourable Knights of the Inquisition. I accept your challenge. Have at you!
You said that no fire was present at the scene of the crime, meaning the defendant must have used magic. Unfortunately for you, that is not the case. What do you mean, Sir Apprentice Baker? What I mean is that the defendant was, in fact, carrying a lantern containing fire. Those two rogues were actually burned by the flame that was inside that lantern. That is the only logical explanation. And none of them care. You don't care either. My, what a startling conclusion you've come to, Sir Apprentice Baker. What do you mean? The only logical explanation? Do you agree with this statement, you honourable witnesses? It is presumptuous for a man that knows nothing to claim that he knows something about which he really knows nothing. Huh?
Besides, how could one teeny tiny little flame be strong enough to set them both ablaze like that?
There were two of them. How could that flame engulf them so fast?
Furthermore, if they did burn as you claim they did, do you mean to suggest that they were soaked in oil or something?
Oh. Well, Sir Blue Knight, it would seem you have bitten off more than you can chew. I definitely didn't see that coming. What say you, my lord? Do you have any thoughts on the proceedings thus far? Given the testimony we have heard, as we have heard it, this court has come to its conclusion. It's been, how long has it been? Yes, yes, conclusion time. 'Twas a truly gruesome and merciless act, an act for which only one thing could have been held responsible. The nefarious crime of magic. Great.
Hold it!
Wait just a second! Is there something you have forgotten to mention, Defender? Not exactly, Your Honor. It's just that, I mean, you just said magic. That can't be right, can it? What are you suggesting, Sir Apprentice Baker? Witches use magic, which in turn brings about disaster. Such is the way of the world, is it not? But, well, yeah, that may seem to be the case. But no way is that actually possible! This court finds Espella Cantabella, the accused, charged with being a witch. Oh. Espella? A witch? A witch's existence in this world is a crime in itself. The ability to use and control magic is a criminal offense indeed. As such, any witch found practicing magic will be sentenced to death by fire. No, you're wrong! I'm not a witch! Sir Apprentice Baker, I do not envy your current predicament. My lord, hand down your guilty verdict against this witch immediately.
Objection!
But... There's no evidence to prove that any magic was really used. Put a sock in it, bread boy. We all heard her cast the spell. Huh?
That's right. Snowy and I heard it. Isn't that right, Princess? We all heard that incantation quite clearly.
That's frightening voice. There's no mistaking it. It was Espella's voice.
These ears do not lie. I clearly heard an incantation most sinister. Ignace it went.
Incantation? Ignace? Oh, it's no good. I just can't wrap my head around this topsy-turvy otherworldly court. Well then, it would seem the defense has no further objections. It appears so. The court finds the use of magic at the time of the murder to be an undeniable fact. Furthermore, the honorable witnesses have stated that they each heard an incantation being recited. The court finds no reason to delay its verdict any longer. Heck, we have to do something! I know, but what exactly can I say? Here in this world, our sense of logic is completely useless. Uh-oh.
This court is ready to hand down its verdict for the case of Espella Cantabella.
Alright. Oh.
Hold it.
Hey! There we go! Objection, Your Honor. I want to make a cool entrance before you finish the trial.
Your Honor, I request that the court hold its verdict.
Hey! Let's fucking go.
What is the meaning of this intrusion?
Well, you see, we need this.
I have something I believe will be of use to the defense.
Well,
You
know what I find this great there is the fact that they're holding that book because this was done Japanese. It makes it look like the Professor Layton is holding the cover right now. If not, like the thing is, this works both ways. Is what I'm trying to say. Like it looks like he's holding the book up to the Japanese who read right to left. He's holding the book with the cover facing him, but because he's holding the book up in the English version, it looks like he's presenting it to someone else, which I think is very fun. I think that's very cool.
That's the Grand Grimoire. All of this world's magic is contained within its pages.
Oof, that was a weird cut. All of this world's magic is contained within its pages. It sounded like there was a cut there in the audio.
Without it, this trial cannot reach a satisfactory conclusion.
All right.
Grand Grimoire.
Hell yeah, let's go. All right, now how the fuck does this help us? We meet again, Mr. Wright. Well, now, it seems things are already afoot here. Although the real contest begins now. Are you fully prepared? So, are you here to help us?
Of course! The professor always helps people in trouble!
I do love a reversible cover.
It is the duty of every gentleman, right, Professor?
Professor? There is a saying that I find quite useful in situations such as this. There is a time for words and a time for action. Right. You have been working as a baker in this town up until now, have you not? I must say, I am a little mystified. I'd have expected you to be more familiar with this world and its systems of magic. Yeah, how can I put this? I guess that's not quite the full story. Is that so? I kind of had an epiphany just now. I remembered all sorts of things, like how I'm not actually a baker, and, well, how magic can't really exist.
Then it would seem I was correct about you, Mr. Wright. You are not, in fact, a citizen of this town, is that correct?
Right. At least it seems that way.
However, for now, we have no option but to accept this world and its rules as reality. Without first understanding those rules, I'm afraid you will not be able to save Miss Cantabella.
But things like magic only exist in fairy tales and make-believe!
I'm afraid, Mr. Wright, it would seem magic does in fact exist in this world. Such a truth cannot be denied. Indeed, that is why the Grand Grimoire is a weapon well suited for this witch trial. At the moment, you are tantamount to a knight without a sword.
I feel more like an attorney without a chance, actually.
Right then, Mr. Wright. I'll explain how the Grand Grimoire works. Luke, I know how to read. Oh, you do? Huh, funny. I usually have to explain everything like this to the professor. Wait, can the professor not read? No, he just likes making sure that I can read everything. That's all. He's just making sure that I have a well-studied, upbringing.
Touch screen, you can touch the Grand Grimoire. Touching the Grand Grimoire button will open up the Grand Grimoire.
Yes. You will be able to present spells from the Grand Grimoire in much the same way you would present evidence. This book will surely be most important and an asset for this trial.
Oh, that reminds me. I've gone ahead and bookmarked the spell Ignace for you.
Hey, very nice. Ignace? That's the magic spell that the witnesses said they heard, right? Nick, you should take a look at that spell. All I have to do is touch and have a look, eh? The defender has been given more than enough time. It would seem this trial has reached its end. Let's have a look at it then. Ooh, okay. Ignace summons a circle of flame within a meter radius of the caster. Requires an incantation and scepter to cast the spell. So we're missing a scepter, and not only are we missing a scepter, but we are also as well, you can only be 1 meter. I mean, the meter we don't need, but the scepter is definitely something that we have. Okay. Is that understood, Sir Apprentice Baker? This case is quite straightforward, with very little room for doubt. The witness's testimony, coupled with the illustration of the time of the murder, makes it quite clear what must have occurred. There's no scepter in this picture. This murder was the result of magic, and furthermore, the caster of said magic was none other than the accused. Based on the text of the spell, wouldn't it also catch her on fire? Within 1 meter, not it, like, so the way it is it's within a meter, summons a circle of flame within a meter radius of the caster. So essentially, it can, I don't know whether or not the center point of the circle of flames would have to be within that 1 meter, on that 1 meter radius of the caster or not, but essentially it's just there's a circle that could be cast in front of her or around behind her. It's not like it's not, I'm gonna cast fireball at myself. Fireball! Poof! And you just nuke yourself in that regard. Even if it did, technically a circle of... Well, I mean, that's the thing. If it's a no, I was thinking of like a ring of flame. A circle of flame would include... Yeah. Okay, that's fair. So I was thinking like a ring of flame would work and they would just be inside it, but if it's a circle, that would include the area they were stood on as well, so that's not great. That, Sir Apprentice Baker, is the truth. Best you go back to baking, for I believe your days in the courtroom have crumbled.
Is everything okay, Mr. Wright?
Yes.
It would seem that photographs do not exist in this world.
Photos don't exist. I guess it makes sense. Ye olde time period and all.
The sketch drawn by the court illustrator. Therein lies your final chance, Mr. Wright.
My final chance?
I understand the witnesses have already finished their testimony. However, if you could perhaps find a clear contradiction within this illustration...
There's another contradiction? In that case, there's still hope that I can turn this around.
Mr. Wright, you have to hurry! Look, the judge! He looks ready to deliver his verdict any second now!
This is it. This is my last chance. What shall I do? Point out the contradiction. Give up!
Hold it!
1 second, Your Honor. The defense requests permission to have another look at the court illustration. I think there might be a contradiction in there.
Objection!
You are already out of time. All testimony and evidence given thus far have been proven to be accurate.
Objection!
Uh-oh. I wouldn't be so sure, Inquisitor Barnum. There's just one thing you've overlooked. A piece of evidence within this book. The Grand Grimoire? Absurd. I overlooked something? You are the defender here. It should have been examined. You should have examined the tome earlier. You're right. I should have. But unfortunately, I was nothing but a simple baker up until just now. Interesting. You have certainly begun to show your true colours, Sir Blue Knight. Let us see what type of knight you truly are. Have at you! The defender will now show us this supposed contradiction. The court illustration and the Grand Grimoire. Somewhere there's a contradiction between these two, and I've got to find it. This is my last chance. Defender uses magnifying glass to point the relevance. To reveal the court the location of this contradiction. Well, it's the whole thing. She's not holding a scepter. Right? Like, the Grand Grimoire, she has to have a scepter. So is it that she's not holding a scepter here? Is that what the contradiction wants me to point out exactly? I'm assuming that's what it exactly wants me to point out, but again, these games are a nightmare on things, so I'm assuming it's just that there's no scepter. I'm just guessing. The contradiction is right here. The hand of the accused. She seems to be holding a lantern. What is your point? According to this tome, using the spell Ignaze requires the use of the witch's scepter, as well as an incantation. Isn't that right? Correct. For witches to use magic, they must be in possession of a witch's scepter, also known as a telea magica. If that's the case, then there's one thing that doesn't add up. Take another look at Miss Cantabella's hands. Tell me, do you see a witch's scepter in either of her hands? There we go. Let's see you point that sword at me now.
You did it, Mr. Wright! But wasn't that contradiction just a little too obvious?
You may be right, Luke.
Eh?
It would certainly appear that the good Inquisitor is taking this particular oversight rather too well.
That is correct, Sir Apprentice Baker, but you should not underestimate me. This is perhaps your first time seeing this item, is it not? Oh, you're just going to pull that out your arse. Right here is the very scepter you mention. One of the witnesses found it tossed in the shrubbery on the side of the path.
Yes! Indeed, that was I! I located it! My feet found themselves ensnared in the blasted thing, and it sent me flying through the air!
Somehow, I'm not surprised to hear that you fell, Gramps. This scepter does seem to carry a most sinister air. Indeed, my lord. However, this scepter will only work while in the hands of a witch, with the incantation being said aloud. Aw, that's too bad. I wanted to try lighting some stuff on fire. Maya! No. I mean, yes, Maya would 100% do that. However, fucking hell, Maya, they will burn you in the stake for this, for calling you a witch if you did that. Please don't look at me when you say that! You see, there are 2 magic gems set in this scepter. Magic gems? Yeah, looks like a red gem and a white gem. These gems each contain a particular magic spell. By simply looking at these magic gems, one can easily determine which magic spell can be used. Nick! Quick! Look at this page! Okay. It's Ignace, yeah? Is that the red magic gem? Indeed, the red gem you see here is the spell Ignace, and if you look carefully, you should notice that this scepter also has one more spell that can be used. I don't know how big the room was. I said I cast Fireball! One more spell? That must be the white gem.
Mr. Wright, I found it! Here's the spell for the white magic gem.
Demire. Causes anything the caster touches to vanish from sight. Simply chant Amir to make it reappear. Oh, fucking hell. No! Great. Causes anything the caster touches to vanish from sight? I see you managed to work it out in that crusty head of yours. That's just... It just can't be! The reason the witch's scepter couldn't be seen is because the magic spell Demir had made it disappear? That's right. In other words... The accused conjured a cowardly spell to camouflage her own use of magic. No. No way! Oh boy. Alright. Order! 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 Inquisitor Barnum, please submit the scepter into evidence.
Objection!
Hold on, please! Is there a problem, Sir Baker? Okay, I understand this is a witch's scepter. However, whether or not the scepter was Miss Cantabella's possession has not yet been proven. What are you talking about, Sir Apprentice Baker? Isn't it obvious? I'm talking about fingerprints. Supposing Miss Cantabella did in fact handle that witch's scepter, then her fingerprints should be still on it. Oh no. What is oh no. Yeah. No one has a clue what fingerprints are. What's with the silence? You said fingerprints. I don't think that's quite appropriate to do in a courtroom, but... Inquisitor Barnum, tell me, just what is this Baker blabbering about? I haven't the slightest clue, my lord. It is the Baker's first time in court, after all. Huh? I'm afraid it's no use. Mr. Wright. In this world, it would seem the concept of fingerprinting does not yet exist.
What? I just can't believe this!
As I have already said, best you head back to the bakery, lest you continue to serve this court more of your half-baked ideas. They're about as half-baked as your terrible puns, Barnum! Forensic science does not exist here. Instead, this is a world in which witches and magic are accepted as fact. Truly fascinating. Great.
What in the heck? There's just way too many things I don't know about this world.
Mr. Wright, I believe you may be able to take these things you don't know and use them to your advantage.
Huh?
Ah, is it like do an inverse of a puzzle kind of thing, where it's like you use the information you don't have, or the things you don't have to form a sort of an image of what you do have, and use that as the memory gap kind of thing? Like you do the inverted picture thing. The Inquisition believes there is no room for debate on this matter. The accused clearly attempted to conceal her magic. Deductive reasoning, that's the words. For some reason I couldn't remember them. Is it deductive reasoning or inductive reasoning? I can never remember the difference between the two. Better luck next time, Sir Apprentice Baker. Mayhaps your next loaf will not leave such a bitter taste in our mouths. Now then, my lord, I believe it is time. I ask that you render your unwavering verdict.
Objection.
Yo! An objection? Pardon the interruption. May I have a word, Inquisitor Barnum? What's this? Who might you be? My name is Herschel Layton. I am a friend of the accused. Inquisitor Barnum, please allow me to confirm what you believe happened on the night of this crime. You claim the witch's scepter was made to disappear through the use of magic, is that correct? Indeed, through the magic spell Demir. If possible, would you mind providing proof of this particular claim? What? You claim the scepter was not seen. Indeed, that is one possibility. However, a wise man must always consider every possibility. Inductive reasoning is making a prediction based on what you do know, and deductive is making a predict it is based on what you don't know. I guess. I think. I don't know. What say you, Inquisitor Barnum? Can the Inquisition fulfill the request presented by the gentleman with the unusual hat? The Inquisition cannot, Your Honor. Cannot honor this request for proof. If you are asserting that the accused is not a witch, then the burden of proof lies at the feet of the defender. Oh, come on! It's the Inquisitor's job to prove that a crime was committed. As I thought. Indeed, it would appear the accepted method of thinking in this world differs greatly from our own. How regrettable, Sir Apprentice Baker. And you, Sir Dark Hat?
Inquisitor Barnum, sir! Should you require it, I stand ready to lend my testimony!
Would anyone care to purchase any pre-testimony flowers? I've got a lovely array of bewitching lilies.
Snowy and I will not be dismissed so easily. We came here to expose the identity of this witch. Isn't that right, Precious?
A witch's scepter, you say? Yes, yes! I know of such a scepter! Allow me to elucidate the matter!
Elucidate the matter, even, not eludicate. What do you think, Inquisitor Barnum? Your witnesses appear to have something to say on the subject.
Very well. Most honorable witnesses, I grant your request to testify once more. Tell the court all you know regarding this Talea Magica. Oh, well, we've somehow managed to keep the trial going. I owe you one, Sir Dark Hat.
Please, Mr. Wright. Mr. Layton will suffice for the time being.
I said that in my head, didn't I? Wait, how did you see that? Also, it's Mr. Layton will do. It's Professor Layton. About the Talea Magica.
When I saw her, the witch was carrying a large milk bucket in one hand and a lantern in the other. The girl had the lantern hanging from her wrist. Her hand was contorted in a strange way.
I got a good look at her hand, and it looked for certain that she was gripping something.
The witch was holding a scepter in her right hand. She did not drop it once before she was apprehended.
See, that's interesting, because how could she hold that and then the lantern drop on the ground if she had it on her wrist? That doesn't work. I see. The accused's hand was contorted in a strange way. I do believe this is quite an important piece of testimony. I saw it. I most certainly saw it. She was holding an invisible scepter.
We saw it too. It was the girl up there, without a doubt.
I as well. These old eyes don't see as well as they once did, but I witnessed the hazy, blurry form of the accused quite clearly.
Don't tell the court you're blind.
My eyesight is as sharp as the edge of my trusty blade.
A toy sword. How fascinating. Although I wonder if he understands the implications of that analogy of his vision. Sir Baker, you may proceed with your interrogation.
Mr. Layton's given me another chance. I can't let it go to waste. Okay. I'm thinking that it's the fact that she said she did not drop it, but here's the thing. This is covered in mud. First of all, this isn't covered in mud, but this is covered in mud. So it's clear she didn't drop this. Whoever was holding this did not drop it. It's rubber or wood. Flimsy. It might be what is it? Is it balsa wood that's the thin one? Balsa or plywood that's flimsy on that. But my thought process is this the glass is broken and it's covered in mud. The reason for that is because of the fact that she dropped this. Because she dropped this, how could she drop this? Also, where's the fucking... Do I not get to see details on that? No, but I get to see details on this. Ooh, I get to see details on this. That's fun. Okay, very fun. But yeah, I don't get to see details on any of the other stuff. That's a shame. Alright, let's press. The large lantern you mentioned is this one, correct?
There is no mistaking it. That fiendishly fiendish form, with its case darker than the darkest of nights, that was the lantern.
It's just a normal lantern, buddy. What is this? It would seem the glass is shattered. And there seems to be a sizable amount of mud stuck on it.
On closer inspection, it appears mud has been stuck to the broken sections of glass. Most intriguing.
So then, when exactly did the lantern get mud all over it?
By the way, witness, you also saw a milk bucket, is that right?
Indeed, it would be I would bet my sword on it.
And yet, that milk bucket mysteriously vanished from the crime scene. How many times must I say it, Sir Apprentice Baker? The problem is the Black Lantern. Yeah. The girl held the lantern hanging from her wrist, her hand was contorted in a strange way. She had the lantern hanging from her wrist. Are you sure?
Of course we're sure. If that wasn't it, then how else would the girl manage to hold her invisible scepter?
Ma'am, please, just testify about what you actually saw.
We just said that's what we saw. Isn't that right, Snowy?
Indeed, a handle as wide as this could be easily hung from the accused's small wrist.
Yes, that's what we were telling you. Isn't that right, Mummy's little snowball?
That's no good. It's already bent on assuming Espella was holding that scepter.
It seems it may be best not to pursue this particular line of questioning any further.
Well, that's just super. I got a good look at her hand, and it looked for certain that she was gripping something.
Hold it!
Uh-huh. What exactly was the defendant gripping? It was... that's right. It was something cane-like. What's it called? A witch's scepter? Yes, it was definitely that.
Objection!
Whoa, wait, Miss Kira, you didn't actually see it, did you? Witness. This cane-like object, was it perhaps roughly this size?
How the fuck would you know if it was invisible?
Oh, Why, yes, it was exactly that size. That's no good. They're all bent on assuming Isabella was holding the scepter.
It would seem it may be best not to pursue this particular line of questioning any further either. Well, it's just super. Again. The witch was holding a scepter in her right hand. She did not drop it at once before she was apprehended.
Hold it!
Let me get this straight. There was no way for you to see this invisible scepter, was there?
Well, now that's common sense, boy. One cannot see what is not there to be seen.
In that case, there was also no way you could tell whether or not she might have dropped the scepter.
Well, these old eyes of mine honed in on her hand like a hawk until they couldn't see straight. The young lady was most certainly holding an invisible scepter in her right hand, while at the same time also carrying the lantern. Or do you perhaps possess some piece of evidence that suggests she dropped the scepter?
There hasn't been any evidence so far to suggest Isabella was holding the scepter.
Evidence suggesting the scepter was dropped. Now that is an interesting idea. Huh? If Isabella did not have the scepter in her hand, it would have been impossible for her to use any magic.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I don't suppose there might be a piece of evidence that could prove this. Something to prove that Isabella was not holding the scepter at the time of the murder. In other words, evidence to show that even if Isabella had been holding the scepter, she would have dropped it. Yes. Is everything all right, Mr. Wright? The truth about what happened in that brief instant will likely decide Isabella's fate.
I have to do everything I can to find a contradiction in these testimonies. Guess I should take another look at the court record. It's got to be that we dropped the thing, right? She did not drop it. I have proof that she did. She would have had to drop it. But here's the thing. This is two contradictions and I can follow it through. One, we present the lantern, saying that she must have dropped it. If Barnum then turns around and says that the scepter doesn't have any mud on it, therefore she couldn't have dropped it, we come to a logical impasse. We know for certain, the witnesses saw she had the lantern. Regardless, they then know she dropped the lantern. If she was holding a scepter, she would have had to have dropped it. Since there is no mud on the scepter, it therefore means that she cannot have held the scepter and dropped the lantern, and we know for a fact the lantern dropped, therefore she cannot have held a lantern. You have to follow that line of reasoning. We've got this in the bag. Right? That has to be it, right? There is a high probability that Miss Cantabella was not holding the scepter. But if, for the sake of argument, she had been holding it, she would undoubtedly have dropped it at the time of the incident. What do you mean? What I mean, Inquisitor Barnum, is that this lantern proves the defendant was not holding the scepter.
Objection!
What foolishness are you spouting, Sir Apprentice Baker? The lantern's handle was around the accused's wrist. Meaning she could have held the scepter? I'm afraid that's not the problem here, Inquisitor Barnum. The problem is that with the broken glass and the mud plastered all over it. What? The rain had ended just as the murder was taking place. That would make the path fairly muddy, don't you agree? When the thieves grabbed Miss Cantabella by the arm, the lantern must have fallen into the mud. The lantern
fell into the mud. Why, of course. Well, that makes sense, doesn't it, my little snowy woey?
Oh, bloody hell. Well, what do you say, Inquisitor Barnum? If she was holding the scepter at the time, it would mean that when she dropped the lantern, the scepter would have fallen along with it. What's going on? Inquisitor Barnum seems speechless. That defender's managed to turn the thing around. Even though he's just some baker.
No way! Pay the witch's accomplices no heed. They're just trying to trick you.
Barnum, Barnum, Barnum.
Just what is this?
Hold it!
One moment, please. Everyone, please listen. Didn't we all just stand here and explain to the court what we clearly saw? It's a lantern. So what? What's so special about it? Explain it to me so I can understand. So that you can understand? I mean, it's pretty obvious just by looking at it.
Mr. Wright?
What is it, Professor Layton?
There is something about this witness. Miss Kira, was it? Tell me, Miss Kira. How good is your eyesight, exactly? As you just heard Mr. Wright explain, the answer to your query is quite obvious at a glance. Tell me, are you able to see the mud present on this lantern?
Mud? What mud? What are you talking about?
Your Honor, did you hear that just now?
Yes, indeed. What exactly? What does it mean exactly?
It means that Miss Kira's poor eyesight is the reason she cannot see the mud present on this lantern. In other words, the validity of Miss Kira's testimony is questionable at best. Oh, nice turnaround, Layton. Order! Order in the court! What is the meaning of this? What say you in your defense, witness? I highly recommend you give nothing but the truth.
I'm sorry, Inquisitor Barnum. It's true. I need to wear glasses all the time, in fact.
Do you need to wear glasses?
Aha! Now that you mention it, I did notice something odd about you today.
Oh, I thought you looked familiar. Gone is the mist that clouded my mind. In its place, clarity.
Fair maiden, a pair of spectacles are as valuable as a shield to a knight. Make haste to procure another pair.
Now then, Miss Kira, tell me, at the time of the incident, were you wearing your glasses? No, I was not wearing them. The truth is, I lost my glasses a couple of days ago.
Oh, interesting. I'm suspicious because you hesitated on saying you lost your glasses a couple of days ago. She had to... It's you. If you did it, how can we prove that you did it? Well, let's put it this way. If your you had to say that you didn't have your glasses, because otherwise if you did and now don't, people would ask when you lost them. And if you lost them at the murder... Okay. I have an idea. You lost them. So, her glasses were missing during the time of the incident. Apparently. I will assume that she is telling the truth on that for now. But if she's not, then I know where they might be. I can guess anyway. Mr. Wright, might I recommend that you keep note of this fact? It could prove useful later. Got it. Glasses. Kira has poor eyesight and wears glasses, but she lost them a few days before the incident. Am I to believe there is nothing left to prove on this matter? At the time of the murder, the accused did not have a witch's scepter in her possession.
Wait just a moment. Snowy and I have much more left to say. That's right. My trusty sword of justice shall cut through this witch's treacherous lies.
I may have lost my glasses, but I haven't lost my will to testify.
Eureka! I remember now! Old age is a way of sneaking up on me. I'm sure you must understand.
Yeah, I understand.
You're all completely ridiculous! It would seem we have not yet arrived at a clear-cut verdict. Witness, You may once again begin to testify to the court. Tell us about the scepter and how it was used to in the detestable display of witchcraft that you all witnessed tonight. Right. About the telematter continued.
The girl was not holding the scepter in the same hand as the lantern, which means it must have been in her other hand.
The accused was holding a milk bucket in the court illustration. Who's to say she wasn't holding the scepter in that hand as well?
Really? That milk bucket is lighter than it looks. Even Snowy could carry it, so she could have easily held the scepter as well.
I did not see this milk bucket. Everything felt like an illusion.
Great. So one witness now is contradicting three others.
The scepter was in her other hand, you say? Indeed, such a proposal is feasible. Sir Baker? Yes, Your Honor. It is the strangest thing. The longer this trial goes on, the more you begin to resemble a legitimate defender.
Huh?
Well, no matter. Defender, you may begin your interrogation.
Yes. Right. Cross-examination. I like the swords, by the way. I haven't mentioned it yet. That's like, right. Girl's not holding the scepter in her right hand. Yeah.
Okay.
Hold it!
So we're just completely flipping everything. But did you actually see that with your own eyes?
Alas, Magic's vile embrace hid the scepter from my sight, so I did not see it per se. However, through my years of knightly training, I have learned to see through such cunning trickery.
Is that so?
For example, this morning I found myself unable to locate the whereabouts of my trusty blade. Its location was a mystery, so I tried my hardest to think and remember where it would have kept it last. And before long, behold, it transpired I was carrying my trusty blade in its scabbard all along. Life is riddled with such trickery.
Would you say life is riddled with such trickery, Nick? Only if we're talking about my life, Maya. That's fun. The accused is holding a milk bucket in the court illustration. Who's to say she wasn't holding the scepter in that hand?
Hold it!
Okay. The court illustration. That's right. Judging by this sketch alone, it does look possible for her to have held the scepter. However, if you actually try holding that thing, you'll notice just how thick it is. How thick it is. Sorry, I'm immature, okay? However, if you actually try holding that thing, you'll notice just how thick it is. No way could she have been holding it.
Objection!
That is nothing more than mere speculation. You cannot say for certain that she was unable to hold it. You say speculation. I say it's a fact. There's no way Isabella could have been holding that thing. As expected, this testimony is filled with nothing but assumptions and conjecture. Mr. Layton. You know, Mr. Wright, there does not appear to be any usable evidence presented in the court illustration. Yeah, I agree. It does look that way. The milk bucket ended up disappearing from the scene. Could that actually be an important piece of evidence in itself? Alright.
That milk bucket is lighter than it looks.
Even Snowy could carry it, so she could have easily held the scepter. Alright. Just 1 second, Miss Mary.
What is it now? Snowy and I don't have all night, you know. Come on then, out with it.
I just have one question regarding your testimony. How exactly did you know that the bucket Miss Cantabella was carrying was light enough for Snowy to carry?
Huh? Well, you see, the girl always uses the same bucket whenever she comes to buy milk from us. Naturally, I would have seen that bucket countless times before.
Yeah, you've seen it countless times before. Well, that doesn't answer my question. You specifically said that bucket is lighter than it looks.
Miss Mary, at some point tonight, you must have held that bucket yourself.
Now then, please enlighten us as to exactly when you got your hands on that bucket.
Oh, it's true. By that time, Rubs and Mugs had already been burned to ash. And then I noticed the milk in that bucket that the girl had been holding in her hand.
The milk?
Then, when those two went up in a blaze, Snowy and I made a dash for the bucket. As the girl stood there, looking confused, we took the milk from her to make sure it was okay. Huh?
Unbelievable. Witness, you?
Well, it was just so wasteful. The thought of all that disgusting ash falling into such a precious milk. I felt I just had to protect the milk. So I took the bucket back to the farm with me.
Madam, do you mean to tell our court that you took evidence from a crime scene back home with you? That explains why we were unable to locate the milk bucket at the scene.
Oh my! You're scaring poor Snowy! Here, I brought the bucket with me anyway. See? Hadn't even tampered with the milk.
I'm sure you didn't. The court shall accept this milk bucket as evidence. Oh, wait a minute. You can't hold that milk. Oh, I need the... Hang on. Can I can't look at... Damn it. There's no court illustration, which is annoying. Looks like that's one more piece of evidence for us. Now, will the gentleman with the impressive beard proceed with his testimony? I did not see this milk bucket. Yes.
Hold it!
You didn't see the bucket?
Indeed, naturally, there was no way of me noticing the witch before the crime occurred. My mind was placid as the most placid of placid lakes. But like the early bird on its morning hunt for the elusive worm, my senses remained vigilant.
You do realize the other witnesses have all testified to having seen Miss Cantabella carry the bucket, though.
And when you have journeyed as far as I have through life, you find all is but an illusion. That is, except for Lord Storyteller, of course.
Well, that was completely useless. That's it for the testimony. Still, something is bound to be there. I can't believe Mary took the bucket home with her.
Miss Mary must have been one of those thieving forest wolves we've been hearing about.
Let us hope she doesn't eat like a wolf as well, Luke, for her Snowy's sake. I've got this new piece of evidence, but the question is, how can I use it?
You know, looking at this milk bucket now,
it does look sort of different from the sketch, don't you think? It might be a good idea to get a nice, good look at the actual milk bucket. The girl was not holding this up in the same hand as the lantern, which means she must have been holding it in the other one. The accused was holding the milk in the court illustration who says she wasn't holding it in the same hand. I'm going to present it to on you specifically, Miss Kira, because it's a different bucket.
Objection!
Yes. All of your testimonies have come to the same conclusion. The scepter was not in her right hand with the lantern. Therefore, it must have been in her other hand that was holding which was holding the bucket. However, that's not it. Not by a long shot. What do you mean? Contrary to what one of the witnesses stated, the milk bucket was in fact at the crime scene. This was the milk bucket at the crime scene. And you'll notice something about this bucket. Take another look at the court illustration. Something about this bucket seems a bit odd, wouldn't you say?
Objection!
This illustration was based on eyewitness accounts, so a small discrepancy or two is conceivable.
Objection!
Actually, Inquisitor Barnum, it's highly likely that this illustration is much less accurate than you think. In fact, there is a blatant contradiction present in this illustration. Admittedly, it does at first look possible that Miss Cantabella was holding the scepter and the bucket at the same time. However, if you look at the real milk bucket, that possibility goes up in smoke. Here, let's have a look at the real deal. Notice the handle? That cannot be. Oh, but it is. This particular milk bucket has two pieces of wood on either side of the handle. If you were to try holding onto both the scepter and this bucket, well, let's just say that'd be a challenge. To put it simply, there is no way anyone could hold both the bucket and the scepter at once. What? That must mean clearly you have the wrong bucket. We never lie when it comes to milk. That is the very bucket I took. It looks like the witnesses are as surprised about this as Barnum. The defendant couldn't have been able to hold the bucket and the scepter at once. Also, we have already established that she was not holding a scepter in her right hand. Therefore, the defendant, Miss Spella Cantabella, was not holding a witch's scepter at any point during the incident. Order! Order! I said order! Just what is the meaning of this? In all my days as a judge in this court, I have never heard such an argument. These are but a paltry set of words, and yet they ring with such remarkable strength. Your Honor, what you just heard was logic. Logic, you say? What is it with these two? They just silenced Inquisitor Barnum with mere words. Such foolishness! This must be some type of witchcraft! Wait, do you think... could they be witches? It would seem that the concept of logic does not exist in this world. Oh, I need that as a fucking... That's a fucking Twitter fucking reaction image right there. Logic does not exist in these posts. Right, then let's take the chance to knock this case down a peg or two. I'm worried if we keep this up, we'll all be joining Espella in a one-way trip to the flames. Objection! Most intriguing. A knight allows his sword to speak for him during the battle. You have spoken with a sword of words. Yes? So be it. I too shall wield such a blade. What do you mean? Sir Blue Knight, there appears to be a hole in this logic of yours. A hole? According to the earlier testimony, it was believed that the accused had the lantern hanging from her wrist by the handle. However, she supposedly dropped it, hence it being covered in mud. That's right. While that may be true, it does not necessarily mean the accused was therefore unable to use magic. It is merely a question of when she dropped the witch's scepter. Nope! Incorrect! She cannot have dropped the witch's scepter at any point in time. It has no mud on it. What do you mean, Inquisitor Barnum? It is very simple, my lord. The accused, while first holding the lantern and the witch's scepter, cast her magic. Then, she dropped both the lantern and the scepter. Nope. Fucked up. Fuck you. It can't work. Doesn't have mud on it. The witch's scepter was dropped after the spell was cast.
Of course, yes. That must be it. Okay, well, we're going to need to hear from the witnesses. Do you clearly remember an order of events as to what happened? What say you, Sir Blue Knight? That is but a taste of the nightly knowledge of the Inquisition. Wow! Sir Barnum cut through that baker's witchery like a hot knife through butter! Exemplary! I expected nothing less from the hand of the Barnum.
Oh, to be able to shake the powerful hand someday!
Well, not bad. He has, hey, he's done the right thing. He has presented a possibility. I had already seen through that possibility, though.
That Inquisitor isn't quite what he first appeared.
Yeah, sure seems that way. Just a moment ago, it seemed like he'd never heard of in logical debate. Now he's suddenly using it against us. This guy is no joke, that's for sure. Now then, most honourable witnesses, I ask that you lend us your aid once more.
Oh?
I request that you will testify to the court once more. Tell us which occurred first, the dropping of the lantern, or the casting of the spell. Witnesses, you may begin your testimonies. Tell this court in your own words about the sequence of events which transpired tonight. About the sequence of events. Oh boy. Of course, the lantern fell to the ground after the incantation of Ignace. Sploosh!
I'm as sure as Snowy is white. I made certain to keep my eyes peeled on that milk bucket after all.
Besides, how can you be so sure the lantern fell just because it has a little mud on it?
These eyes do not lie. I saw the lantern in the accursed's hand when the incantation was uttered.
What? Hang on, Kira, yours isn't making... So, what? Figures. Their testimonies are all over the place now.
These 4 testimonies, they are most interesting. The witnesses all saw the same thing, and yet... people's memories are evidently quite fickle. They can never be truly a reliable source. That is why witness testimony alone should be no way means to prosecute someone for any ill-doing, and why immediately any police officer whose body camera is turned off during any arrest must be made inadmissible and the arrest false, all charges dropped, for no evidence can be presented against them that is a guarantee of what happened.
Well then, Professor, with enough poking and prodding, I bet we can really cause their testimonies to crumble.
Of course. We need to exploit their fickle memories to turn things around. We've got this, Nick. Don't press them so hard they won't even remember what they had for breakfast. I can't even remember what I had for breakfast, Maya. Now, Sir Baker, you may begin your interrogation.
Alright, let's do it. Press them all until everything goes wrong. Of course, the lantern fell to the ground after which sploosh.
Why sploosh? Not crash? The lantern fell after the incantation. Are you positive about that? I say I am positively positive that I am positive. I heard her voice and then sploosh. That sploosh, was that the sound of the lantern hitting the ground? Indeed. But of course, do you see? But if you look at the lantern, you'll notice the glass is shattered. You specifically said you heard a sploosh. Shouldn't you have heard the sound of glass shattering when it hit the ground? The sound of glass shattering? No, I'm afraid I failed to catch your drift. I was present in the area a bit farther away from the crime scene, you see. I have no recollection of hearing such a sound. No recollection? Precisely so. I'll have you know I can easily hear a dog barking across town. Do not underestimate my hearing. That wasn't. Relax, Grandpa. There is nothing of interest in this testimony. Will the witness with the goat please proceed with hers?
Huh? Ah, right. You mean
us. You startled us, didn't he, Snowy? I'm sure Snowy was white. Alright.
Hold it!
Okay. But earlier, you stated that Miss Cantabella had the lantern hanging from her wrist. Well, not quite. We didn't say for certain. We only believed it was on her wrist. Believed? Yes, precisely. You know how you sniff milk when you're not quite sure if it's gone bad. And then your nose is assaulted by that foul odour that you weren't expecting? Well, it was a bit like that.
Heed my words, madam. Do not make a habit of stealing for your own safety.
We said we were sorry, please. It was all Snowy's fault.
Yeah. Oh, brother.
Anyway, we can confidently say that we both saw the milk bucket, right, Precious? And as for the lantern falling, we don't know much about that, do we now, Schnookums?
Great. Besides, how can you be sure the lantern just fell just because it has a little mud on it?
Hold it!
Well, what do you mean?
Well, maybe the mud was already on the lantern before any of this happened? Did you ever think about that? Before any of this happened? Well, no, that can't be the case because we know that it's on the shattered glass as well. The shattered glass bits have mud to them as well, so it had to be after it broke. Like, maybe it's been there since last week. It did rain last week too, after all. And if that's the case, then there really isn't any point arguing about whether or not she dropped the lantern, right?
Indeed. What say you, Defender?
I say take a closer look at the lantern. You'll notice there's mud on the glass. Mud on the glass? The lantern wouldn't be very useful with all that mud blocking out the light.
Miss Kira? I'd say your little theory regarding this lantern is muddy at best.
I could point at witnesses till the cows. I could point at witnesses till the cows come home. But that wouldn't turn this testimony into anything I can use. I've got to find a lead somewhere. These eyes do not lie. I saw the lantern in Nikki's hand when the incantation was uttered. Okay.
This is important. Are you sure you really saw that lantern?
You are but a petty baker, are you not? It is not in your place of telling me what is important. There is but one thing of importance. Ridding this town of witches as quickly as possible.
Objection!
Hardly. I'd say this is far more important.
What?
We're trying to find out the truth here.
How absurd. That girl is a witch, I say! A witch! I will stick my entrance into the Knights of the Inquisition on it.
Listen well, whelp.
Yes, Sir Barnum.
Many young men within the ranks of the knighthood share your level of passion. However, you let your ambition completely blind you, the same way that a muddy lantern leaves one blind and helpless in the dark.
What?
This guy. Yes, indeed. I would say he is quite the tough motivator.
What do you think, Nick? Did you notice anything fishy? Yeah, possibly. I think there may be something I can use. Really? Wow, I didn't hear anything special. There was definitely something out of place about that one witness's testimony. It was something I haven't noticed from any of the other witnesses so far.
It appears you may have found something, Mr. Wright?
A full witness cross-examination. This is something I've never done before. But then, maybe there's another way I should be tackling this.
I believe it is worth trusting your intuition. I believe it is worth trusting that intuition, Mr. Wright.
Okay, got it. Alright, let's try pressing that old man one more time. Alright, let's press him again.
Hold it!
Yep, the lantern fell. Yeah. Okay. Indeed, but of course, do you see? Yeah. Speak specifically of the sploosh. Sound of glass shattering. Yeah. No, don't catch your drift. Right there.
Hold it!
There it is! Right there. I knew I heard something strange. Huh? But old Greybeard didn't say anything weird. Maya, it's not the old guy that said something weird. It's the person next to him. Next to him?
Oh, look there, Professor! The goat lady! She looks really deep in thought.
It would seem she has noticed something odd in this elderly gentleman's testimony.
Oh, you can pit them against each other. Ah. That's right. These cross-examinations have 4 witnesses. Hey, Nick. It looks like we're not the only ones paying attention to these testimonies. You're right. Which means if they're all listening to each other's testimonies...
Correct. Correct, Mr. Wright. Each witness is fully aware of themselves and their own actions when in the middle of their own testimonies. However, it is while listening to the testimonies of other witnesses that they may sometimes reveal the most valuable information.
I see. It's habitual. They can't tell they're doing it, but I can. And I'm going to use it to turn the tide back in our favor.
In fact, I do believe I may have spotted our first opening in which to test this new technique. Mr. Wright, could I draw your attention to the touch screen?
The touch screen?
Sliding the magnifying glass during a witness's testimony will allow you to shift your focus across to the other witnesses.
Right. So, the important thing here isn't the witness that's in the mid-testimony, it's the other 3 witnesses listening. It's just a matter of catching them off guard and questioning them. What are you waiting for, Nick? Let's give it a shot! How about we try questioning the goat lady next to old Greybeard? Okay, all I have to do is slide the magnifying glass over to that witness. Alright. Shadow glass? No, I'm afraid I don't. I fail to catch your drift. Okay.
Hang on!
Excuse me, Miss Mary? Oh, do you mean us? But Snowy and I have nothing else left to say. I knew it. I caught her completely by surprise. Mr. Wordsmith just gave his testimony. He told us all about the sound he heard when the lantern fell to the ground. Mr. Wordsmith didn't seem too sure. But I wonder if you might happen to have something to say about this?
Huh? Oh, well, that's... Is that all right, Sir Barnum? May we answer the question?
Do what you will, madam. There is no need for formalities.
Huh? Well, we'll try and explain, won't we, Snowy? The truth is, we did hear something. That is to say, we heard the sound of the lantern's glass shattering. We're sure of it. It was frighteningly loud. It quite startled us, didn't it, Snowy dear? I looked in the direction of the sound, but I couldn't see anything, let alone the girl or those 2 thieves. It was a tad dark after all.
Oh, that means that there wasn't a fire going on underneath them from a circle of fire.
Therefore, it must have been before. When the glass shattered, the flame inside must have gone out, hence she could not see them. That seems to be the gist of it.
Well then, as I peered into the darkness, I heard it.
You heard it? What did you hear exactly?
You know, that
expired! Oh. The incantation for the spell Ignaze!
So you heard it before. Oh no. That's good for us.
What did you just say? Now hold it right there, witness. Yes, my lord.
The glass shattered when the lantern fell. Then, after that, you heard the incantation for the spell Ignaze. Do you swear to this court that this is, without a doubt, correct?
Yes. Maybe, I think.
How about my testimony? Or what of my oratorical observation? That blasted spell Ignaze occurred first, then the lantern plummeted to the ground.
I heard no such thing. There was no sound of shattering glass.
Absurd! Simply absurd! So the lantern fell and the glass shattered. That does not change the very fact that this girl is a witch!
Objection!
I hate to disappoint you, but that's not quite the case. In fact, this testimony changes a lot of things. Wouldn't you agree, Inquisitor Barnum? Yeah, we've now managed to... They've gone from all being focused in the exact same way to every little detail that they've been picking apart is slowly twisting back on themselves. They've Gordian knotted themselves here. What is the meaning of this? Let's go over what we know so far. In order for a witch to use any magic, they must be holding a witch's scepter. And yet, none of the four witnesses saw the defendant hold a scepter of any kind. Well, that's because the scepter was made to disappear with the spell Dimir, correct? At the time of the crime, the two victims grabbed Miss Cantabella's arm, causing her to drop the lantern on the ground. If, at that time, she was in fact holding an invisible scepter, then the scepter must have fallen when she dropped that lantern. Now, let's say hypothetically that Miss Cantabella really is a witch, which she is not, but hypothetically we will do this thought experiment. In order to use any magic, she would have had to recite the spell before dropping the scepter. However, as our witness Miss Mary has just stated in her testimony, she heard the incantation for Ignaze after hearing the lantern's glass shatter.
What?
You do all understand what this means, don't you? It means that Miss Cantabella, the supposed witch you've locked up, could not possibly have cast any magic. Therefore, the defendant, Espella Cantabella, is clearly in no way, shape or form a witch.
What the fuck?
Oh, bloody hell.
Such frivolity! Do you realize what you're insinuating? Do you think she's not a witch?
Such nonsense. Did any of you even listen to my testimony? We did, but you're wrong. There was no glass shattering. Are you calling me a liar, Missy? You couldn't even see the mud on the lantern when it was plain as day.
What ridiculous claims, all of you!
Oh, hush. Take your little toy sword and go around. Take your little toy sword and go back to playing pretend, Sir Knight.
Witnesses, this is a court of law, not a playground. Must I remind you of the importance of these proceedings? Witches and their magic threaten our very town of Labyrinthia. Your words here today could decide the fate of every single citizen within our walls. Do you understand? As such, I expect each of you to take your role seriously and testify honestly about what you saw. So we are slowly causing some problems for them, and they're splintering on each other. And now they're starting, when one person isn't credible, they're turning on each other, which is great. They're doing our job for us here. In all my days as a judge of this court, I have never seen such behavior. Behavior that leaves a cloud of doubt over the credibility of each of your testimonies. Indeed, my lord, quite a miserable set of witnesses, this lot. I see. It would appear this trial has come to a sudden halt. Huh? So, that must mean... Quite right. It means you have won this trial, Mr. Wright. We've won. I can hardly believe the situation we have found ourselves in. I did not anticipate this trial ending with such a strange turn of events. But due to these witnesses' dubious credibility, I could see no reason to continue. What say you, Inquisitor Barnum? As you wish, my lord. What's going on? They're actually gonna let this witch run free through the town? Curses! If it wasn't for that witch and her friends...
Hold it!
Oh, what the fuck is this? Oh, who are you?
Wait a blooming second. This trial ain't even close to being over.
Oh, God.
Not before I take the stand to testify.
Oh, great! Now I've got to go and do this kind of a voice for this, you fucking bastard! Why'd you have to go and make it up here?
That's a killer on a throat. Oh, boy.
Order! Order! Who is this buffoon?
Behold! Who am I, you ask? Who am I? Why? I'm the man that's gonna single-handedly save this trial.
God.
I'm the fifth witness.
But nobody else saw you there.
Say what?
What?
Even Barnum didn't see this one coming.
Yep.
Just as I thought, this trial was going down the drain before I got here. Okay, you lot, assemble. We need a strategy meeting ASAP.
So, Your Honor, this is cooperation between the witnesses. This can't happen.
I say, who are you?
Thank goodness you showed up. We can't give up now, everyone.
It has come down to this. To arms, everyone. We shall do battle against that baker and that hat seller.
I can't believe this. What the hell is going on?
Truly fascinating. It seems a new witness has taken the stand. What's more, he appears to be quite the formidable witness. Well, I guess... this trial is still far from over. Great. Just what we needed. To be continued. We will continue that this time, though. It may very well be that we just do a single fucking case here. Bloody hell. Alright. Single trial. These are long-ass trials, but I'm here for it. I'm all here for it. Let's go with you. Pop that.
It's only been like 2 and a bit hours. That's pretty good.
Bang. Well then, we will now continue with the trial of Spella Cantabella.
Somewhere in that kind of a range, isn't it?
Oh boy. A group of witnesses huddling up before a joint testimony in a witch trial.
You can't make this stuff up. Inquisitor Barnum, if I may ask you a question.
Yes, my lord.
We now have 5 witnesses on the stand, so I must ask, why was this obnoxious-looking man left out of your initial group of witnesses?
Bodie's right, Barnum. That's just cold-blooded.
There is but one reason, my lord. I did not know this witness even existed.
Eh?
You, sir, failed to come forward.
When we were asking for witnesses for this very trial, you were nowhere to be seen.
Well, that's because I didn't hear a peep about it. I ain't usually around at night, except for maybe at Rouge's Tavern.
So, you're basically telling us that you were up all night drinking.
Anyway, it's all water under the bridge now, 'cause as far as I'm concerned, just leave the rest to yours truly.
During the last interrogation, the defender brought forth some surprising proof. Namely, that there was little possibility that the accused could have used magic. I've never heard such a claim. It must be the doing of this logic.
Yeah, well, rubbish. Logic, you say? I ain't got a clue what that is. But I do know that this bread baking baker ought to head back to the bakery.
Eloquently said.
Oi, Gramps, give me and the partners here give me and me partners over here a chance to speak. You want to know how this witch managed to be holding that scepter, don't you?
Oh, when you say Gramps, that wouldn't mean me, would you?
I fail to see anyone else meeting such a description.
Well, we'll show you she's a witch. I'll bet Snowy's beautiful white coat on it. And God!
Oh boy.
Alright, team, let's do this! Witnesses! Ho!
What the fuck is going on here? Yes, well, let us proceed with the testimonies. Why do I feel like I've totally lost control of this situation? Right. The mystery of the witch's scepter.
It's clear as day. Isabella is a witch. We are not backing down on this.
When she dropped the lantern, the scepter was not yet in her hands.
The scepter must have been hidden by the magic and carried on her back. Well, how the hell can she... Hang on, no, objection. She cannot have grabbed the scepter from her back. She was being held in one hand, she had the bucket in the other. You know she was holding that bucket until after she cast the spell, so that cannot be happening. Fuck off. The rose grabbed her by the hand that held the lantern, so she must have had another way of holding that scepter.
That's easy. The girl just put the bucket down on the ground and picked up the witch's the magic stick.
Nope, cannot be possible.
So she had the witch's scepter behind her back, so then she dropped the lantern and reached for the scepter after it fell. If that is the case, then it must have been possible for the accused to have used magic. Not quite. Not quite, I'm afraid. This is bad. Thanks to this guy, now all the witnesses seem extra determined to pin this thing on Isabella. They each harbour a shared anger towards witches and magic. Such is the cause of their strong desire to see a guilty verdict passed as quickly as possible. However, such confidence is undoubtedly bound to cloud their better judgment and thinking. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think these guys mean any real harm, but they're all riled up. They don't even realize how distorted their idea of what happened tonight has become. At least, that's how it seems.
Well, this isn't good, Professor. The witnesses aren't thinking straight. They're completely blind to the truth.
Sir Baker? Sir Wright. Yes. You do not appear to be a mere simple baker. That much is clear. On the other hand, you are no ordinary defender either. Never before has a defender managed to clash and do battle with me here on this battlefield as an equal. Sir Blue Knight, this trial has not yet been decided. If there is any doubt in your interrogation, I will not hesitate to strike your case down where it stands. I understand. Defender, please begin your interrogation. Right. So I'm looking at this from the perspective of he couldn't have put the bucket down because there's no mud on it. And did she wipe mud off of it? It's clear we are not backing down on this. Okay. Not backing down, you say?
Uh-huh, that's right. Espella is a witch. That's our story and we're sticking to it.
This is a courtroom, Miss Kira. We're not interested in your story. We're interested in the truth.
You know what I think? I think stories have the power to touch our lives in really meaningful ways.
What do you mean?
Last year, I read a book about a flower girl who brought peace to the world with all the pretty flowers she sold. Because of that story, now I tell myself, Kira, one day you'll fill the world with beautiful flowers of your own. And that story inspires me to sell more flowers. It's pretty much the same as this trial.
No, the fact it's not. What a very touching story.
Indeed, I have heard nary a true tale. Wouldn't you agree, Sir Blue Knight? Maybe it's just me, but I'd have preferred something a little more relevant.
I'm afraid our logic may do us no good here. Let's move on to the next witness, shall we?
Alright, Professor. Well, let's see what this old guy had to say about it. Yeah, dropping the scepter in our hands? Fine. No matter how many times we ask, you still say you didn't see the scepter, huh, Gramps?
I ask you, younglings, were you paying attention to this trial?
Yes.
Well then, magic made the scepter invisible, did it not? Thus, my old age clouding up my vision has nothing to do with anything. The scepter actually vanished.
No, what I'm saying is, if it really was invisible, you wouldn't be able to actually prove it.
Not so, young one. We can prove it. The girl is a witch. There is your proof. So, my old age clouding up my memories has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, but that's circular reasoning. You are claiming something is true because of the fact that you say it is true. I.e., the Bible says that the Bible says this thing is true because the Bible is true, or this thing happened because it's in the Bible, and the Bible is true. The Bible says it's true, therefore it's true. It doesn't work. It absolutely does not work. It's similar in the same idea of justifying that that what God says is good is because God is good, therefore you could say anything is good. Well, it's not quite like that, but it's a weird circular thing of justification being proven on it. It's circular and stupid. I'm not the best on debate for that.
The scepter magically vanished, you see!
Okay, we get it. When the lantern fell, you claimed the scepter was still not in her hand yet, so that means... The scepter must have been hidden by magic on her back. It can't have been. The witch's scepter was behind her back.
Well, it was like my little snowflake here. Whenever my darling gets too heavy, I hoist him up and carry him on my back.
You mean your baby goat, right?
Yes. Isn't a cuter little goat in this entire courtroom, right, Precious?
Can't use the word in its own definition. I think is part of it, yeah. I know it's been asked already, but you didn't see the witch's scepter, did you?
Well, no, but it must have been made invisible with the magic and then put on her back. You know, Snowy is still such a tiny little thing. If I put him on my back, you can hardly see him.
I hardly see the point of that comment. So the accused grabbed the witch's scepter after the lantern fell. Yeah, the Rose grabbed her by the hand that held the lantern, so she must have had another way of holding the scepter. Are you alright?
What? Why?
Why? Well, for one thing, you're hiding behind what I assume is a shield. Well played, Blue Knight. You managed to see through my steel guard technique. You're still what?
You tried to penetrate the depths of my mind and deceive me once with your witchcraft of words. But you will find your words are futile against the strength of my shield, crafted from wood harder than steel. Now then, have at you. Attack me if you dare.
No. Just listen a second. Looking at this sketch, it's quite clear that the accused could not have held the scepter in the same hand carrying the lantern. Witness, explain to the court just how the accused held the scepter.
It's easy. The girl just put the bucket down on the ground and picked up the witch's magic stick.
That's not true. She put the milk bucket down.
That's right. Reckon if she did that, she'd have no problem holding that thing.
Objection!
But none of the other witnesses have said anything about seeing her put down the bucket on the ground.
But no one said a thing about not seeing her put the bucket down, right?
Oh, great. Who's got questions? 1, 2, 3. Everybody does. Well, everyone's got questions. I want to talk with you, because you are the person who went for the bucket, so you've been keeping the closest eye on it.
Hang on!
Excuse me, Miss Mary? Huh? You mean Snowy and me? Tell me, what did you think of the witness's testimony just now? The accused placed the bucket on the ground. No one has said anything about that until now. Ah, that must be how it happened. The girl probably placed the bucket on the ground. Yes.
Objection!
Miss Mary, you did not mention anything to that effect in your previous testimony. And yet, you clearly stated that the one thing you were specifically focused on, more than anything else, was the milk bucket. Yeah. Ergo, you should be able to confirm to the court whether or not the bucket really was placed on the ground. And I need to ask you, since you took the bucket back, did you wipe any mud off of it? Because we can clearly see that now it doesn't look like it should have any. It doesn't have any mud on it, and the lantern fell and it got caked in mud. There is no way that a bucket heavier than the lantern would not also be that same way.
Objection!
Oh, great! What are you gonna? One's memory is not flawless, Sir Blue Knight. Pay attention to what the witness was saying. The accused probably placed the milk bucket on the ground. There is the possibility such was the case. Yes, that's right. Isn't that right, my little cuddle pumpkin?
I knew it.
There's something fishy about her testimony, but indeed, it would seem we require a decisive piece of evidence. Could you stop reading my mind, please? I don't think you've quite realized this, Phoenix, or Mr. Wright, but you actually mutter your thoughts aloud. I do? Yes, but if we are to expose the contradictions in these witnesses' testimonies... Yeah, just to think of what that could be. Alright. Okay, it's definitely go back to Amir. Okay, set it down. I'm going to present the bucket of milk.
Objection!
Because it's not got any mud on it. I'm afraid what really happened is not quite so simple.
What? What are you talking about?
It had only just stopped raining moments before the crime took place. As a result, the ground was very muddy. If Miss Cantabella really placed this bucket on the ground, as you claim she did, then it should be caked with mud just like the lantern was after it fell. Well, I'd say that clears up your muddy testimony, wouldn't you?
Well, hey, Barnum!
What?
You just gonna sit there looking pretty? Come on, give me your hand here.
Ooh, I didn't know some guy was looking that way. Flattery will get you nowhere. But thank you, witness. Other than perhaps to the dungeon.
My dungeon specifically. At any rate, yes. There is but one question we ought to ask. Why is there no mud on that bucket? To the witness with the goat, may I ask you a question?
Huh? Are you talking to us?
Indeed, you admitted to the court that you returned home with the milk bucket. Illegally, I might add.
My, oh my, such harsh words, Inquisitor.
When you took the bucket home, you must have simply wiped the mud from the bucket. Is that correct?
Objection, Your Honor. Leading question, coaching the witness. You know, now that you mention it... no way. Don't tell me. That milk bucket... that's right. I remember now. I don't know if what was on the bucket was mud exactly, but it certainly was dirty. Before taking it inside with me, I remember wiping it clean with an old rag. Are you kidding me? That's not good.
Exceptional work, Inquisitor Barnum.
Right. It all makes perfect sense. See? We were right all along, weren't we, Inquisitor Barnum?
I knew that sword weren't just for show, Barnum. You sliced this argument in two.
Objection!
Witness, Miss Mary. What is it? You're absolutely sure there was mud stuck to this milk bucket? Oh my, well, truth be told, I don't remember whether it was mud exactly. Do you still have the old rag? Could we go and get the old rag and just see what was on it? Please. But I do remember cleaning the bucket off when I got home. Ugh.
It would seem the defense has failed to disprove the witness's claims. Of that we can be certain.
I'll teach you, Bluey. You got that right. Do me a favour, will you, Gramps? I want to change me testimony, just a teeny bit.
I will allow it only if the witness refrains from name-calling in the future.
You got it, my lord. Well, all this court mumbo-jumbo has left me first yearning a dog in a desert.
Oh, he's going to do that noise for me. That's quite the amount of gulping he's doing. Man can really put it away.
That witch there was holding a stick. I haven't heard her say the incantation, Finny. That's right, I witnessed it all.
Hold it!
But no one knows for sure if Miss Cantabella dropped that milk bucket on the ground.
Because there is no mud on it, is that what you're saying?
Hey, we went over this already. We know the goat lady wiped off all the mud.
Objection!
However, Miss Mary doesn't clearly remember whether or not it was mud that was stuck on the bucket. We really don't remember, but maybe? I guess maybe there was mud on it. I mean, she couldn't hold the scepter without putting the bucket on the ground. Miss Mary, please give a definitive answer.
You all done, Bluey? Talk all you want, 'cause it ain't gonna help. You see? The five of us, we saw what that witch went and did. We saw it all clear as day.
And who was that? Was that you? No, it was you.
Hang on!
Oh, hang on.
Excuse me, Mr. Wordsmith. To Gramps?
Defender, when you say Gramps, might you by any chance be referring to me?
No, of course not, Your Honor. Mr. Wordsmith, are you listening?
I heard you quite clearly the first time, young man. These ears hear all. The crackling of the fire, the whispering of the crowd, and now your voice.
If that's the case, then allow me to ask you a question. You were clearly deep in thought just now. Do you have something to say about this man's testimony?
Indeed so. I felt something was amiss. However, what this means I cannot say.
Amiss? Witness, could you tell us what precisely was amiss with this third-rate testimony from a fourth-rate witness? Phew, what a burn, Barnum.
5 heads are better than 1. 10 eyeballs are better than 2. As I listened to this man's testimony, I could not help but become aware of something most odd. Tonight, when the crime occurred, we all made haste for that terrible scene. The delicious scent of mid-evening dinner permeated through the air. The shadows of those present cast throughout the dim light. And yet, there were but 4 figures standing in that vicinity, myself included.
4? Hold on 1 second. You're saying that there were only 4 witnesses to the crime scene tonight? Uh-oh.
These eyes may be old, but they know what they saw.
Is something the matter, Miss Mary? No, it's just that Snowy and I are trying to remember what happened at the time. I remember the flames erupting into the air. That's when Snowy and I made for our mad dash to save the precious milk. And when those 2 ruffians were set ablaze, the flames filled the area with light. All that sudden flash of light, we could see that there were other people around besides ourselves. And that's when I saw them, the other people that scrambled to the scene along with us. I'm quite sure of it. There were only 4 of us there at the scene of the crime.
Objection!
Hold on, madam. What in blazes is going on? We have 5 witnesses on the stand, all claiming to have witnessed tonight's events firsthand. That means we have 1 witness too many. Yeah.
Don't be stupid! Oi! You lot better stop speaking out of turn! All for one and one for all, remember? We all promised to take this witch down together, didn't we? It's not quite that simple! We saw what we saw!
Well, I say it's all about the numbers, and I counted, I say. I'll have you know, my counting is flawless. On nights when sleep amuses me, I count sheep from moonrise till sunrise.
4 witnesses, 5 witnesses? What difference does it make? It's you. It is you. Okay, I have more reason to believe that. You're now you're not saying the thing, you're discrediting the point of it. Things all started getting muddled when you showed up. See? Point the blame at him.
Who's saying it's my fault? I was here, you fool! Didn't I just finish saying that? My testimony is as strong as steel, even if it's not completely stainless.
Order! Order! I say order! What is going on here? You claim the number of witnesses does not add up? I've never paid witness to such an outrageous conflict.
There is but one answer to this puzzle, a single possibility.
What do you mean?
Without a doubt, magic must have been used at the scene of the crime. Furthermore, it would appear that there were only 4 witnesses present at the scene. And yet, currently, we are faced with 5 witnesses testifying to the court. That certainly is quite a fatal contradiction, with only one possible answer. Would you not agree, Mr. Wright?
The answer... it can't be.
Well, out with this supposed answer, Sir Blue Knight.
What is your explanation for the current number of witnesses?
One of them is the witch. While it might seem far-fetched, the reality is actually rather simple. The real witch, and the real murderer in this case, is actually one of these 5 witnesses! What? And there's a very easy way we can test this. We will have each and every one of them hold that scepter and cast Demir on a random object. A light fitting, a glass, a sword, a pendant, who cares? When it casts, we'll know who it is. You're telling us that the witch is amongst this group of witnesses? Hang on, I've got to do a thing. Hang on. I've got to do a thing. Hang on. I've got to find it. I've got to do it. You're telling us that which is amongst this group of witnesses? You can't be serious. That would mean that they are among us. Sorry, I had to do it just the once. What utter rubbish! There is no possible way that such a claim can be true. That's right! You got a lot of nerve accusing one of us of being a witch.
Goof! I have told you nothing but the truth. You still have the gall to batter such an outrageous accusation. Behold, it's my trusty shield. Deflects your petty words like the petty words that they are.
Inquisitor Barham? Yes, my lord. I would like to see a sketch of the crime scene at the time of the incident. Could they have asked the girl accused of being a witch and the witch's couldn't they have asked the girl accused of being a witch to use the witch's scepter? Well, the problem is that if they would do that, they could cause problems, especially these 2 spells specifically. These 2 spells specifically cause problems in it would either incinerate them or she could turn invisible.
That's it.
Oh! Hang on. A 10 out of 10. Causes anything the caster touches to vanish from sight. Now, the wording on this is going to sound wrong, but if you were to be touching yourself whilst casting Demir, would that cause the wielder to vanish? Could that work? Because if so, that's why there's only 4 witnesses. Yes, certainly, my lord. I have one right here. I requested it for the court illustrator, just in case. Very well, witnesses. I would like each of you to mark your location at the time of the murder. I would also appreciate if you could do it onto the back of it, so that you need to do it in such a way that no others know where you're marking before you're marking, because otherwise everyone's going to be concerned about that and it might tamper with things. Here on this crime scene sketch. Quickly now. Your Honor, I request we make 4 more copies of this. Yeah. The number of witnesses doesn't add up. It looks like we're getting somewhere now, but we haven't even scratched the surface of this case yet. And it's all thanks to this top hat wearing gentleman. Alright. The court accepts this crime scene sketch into evidence. Map error added to the court record. If one of the witnesses is the witch, that could only mean one thing. Somebody here isn't telling the truth. That would indeed appear to be the case, Mr. Wright. Listen well, Sir Blue Knight. The path you tread now is a dangerous one. Claiming that a witch is among the most honourable witnesses is a serious accusation, should it prove to be a false one. You will find yourself at the other end of my sword. Do I make myself clear? Bitch, you've been pointing that end at me all fucking thing. What, you gonna go Mordschlong on me? Huh? But that wasn't so much my suggestion. I mean, the gentleman here with the lovely top hat was the one who urged me to say it. It is the same thing, Sir Blue Knight. Indeed, it is the same thing, Sir Baker. It is the same thing, Mr. Wright. Thank you for trying to throw me under the bus. Oh, boy. Now, ready your sword. Ready? Were you listening? You claimed the witch is not the accused and that someone else at the crime scene was the true culprit. If what you say is true, then surely you can tell the court exactly where this person was at the time of the crime, can you not? Come now, Sir Blue Knight. Only you can enlighten us as to where this real witch actually was. Sir Doughy Defender, show us where the witch was at the exact moment the murder took place. They have to be here. They have to be here, right? Because it can only be within a meter of it. Haven't all of them lied at some point? It's perjury. Perjury doesn't exist here. It must be around here.
Got it.
It has to be here. The witch must have been standing here.
Objection!
What is the meaning of this? Unfortunately for you, that spot has absolutely nothing to do with any of these witnesses.
Objection.
Wrong. Inquisitor Barnum, I suggest you try taking a look at this. The Grand Grimoire. According to this tome, Ignace summons a circle of flame within a 1 meter radius of the caster. In other words, the witch had to have been within 1 meter of the flame when casting the spell.
Objection!
Of course, you needn't say any more, Sir Blue Knight. First off, notice that there is no one else in that area other than the accused. Barnum, one of them!
He's lying, so telling me that that's the case means fuck all.
It's like, oh, none of the... You are assuming that everyone on that stand is telling the truth. It should also be quite obvious from the sketch that there is clearly nowhere for anyone to hide.
Objection.
True, there isn't any hiding spots. However, there is one other possibility if a witch wanted to stay hidden from sight. Most intriguing. Since you seem to love showing evidence, prove it. Alright. How was the witch able to hide in plain sight? Grand Grimoire, Dimare.
Take that.
This Talia Magica contains 2 magic gems, Ignace, and 1 other spell. That's right, the spell Dimare. Dimare? It cannot be. That's right. There was most certainly a witch present at the crime scene. Only, they were completely invisible. All thanks to the magic spell Dimare. What foolishness is this? Hell yeah. Order in the court! To the defender! What are you getting at? I thought the witch used Dimare to make the Talia Magica disappear.
Objection.
According to the Grand Grimoire, under the entry for Dimare, it causes anything the caster touches to vanish from sight. In other words, supposing the witch were holding the staff in one hand while touching part of their body with the other, they would be able to make themselves disappear. Are you implying that are you implying that is the reason for the conflicting number of witnesses? Indeed it is, which means, witnesses, someone amongst you is not disclosing their entire truth, and that person is the witch we seek. I believe this is the most probable scenario. Honorable witnesses, you will testify to the court on one final time. Tell us exactly what you saw and what you did not see at the scene of the crime.
How absurdly absurd. The purpose of this trial is to convict that girl of the crime, is it not?
That's right. We are not witches.
Witnesses, I ask that you listen. There is a witch mingling among you. That's right. I am afraid you are all no longer brothers in arms. The true opponent here is within your own group.
Real Witch is one of those 5 witnesses, huh? Fine by me. Time to put an end to this trial. Besides, every one of my cases usually ends up with me having to point out that one of the witnesses was actually the killer, so fine by me. Witness testimony. What do you got? What we saw and didn't see.
You wish to know where we all were standing tonight?
It matters not. Would the flames not burn just the same? That flame, I never saw anything like it. It quite literally left me speechless. I couldn't even so much as scream.
I heard the tiniest cry, and when I turned around, the brightest was roasting, so I rushed right over.
I heard the incantation, then saw the flames suddenly erupt. I'm certain of it. I only saw 3 people there with us.
As I said, there were only 3 others present, like that man there who was stumbling around like a newborn calf.
Okay, interesting. A most heinous act indeed. No small wonder these witnesses are so confused. A witch amongst the witnesses? What an utterly baseless claim. I don't think so, Barnum. The only baseless claim in this case is that Ispeller is a witch. It's more than a little likely one of these witnesses is the culprit. These testimonies are bound to tell me who the real witch is. Right. You should know where we were standing tonight. It matters not. Alright. In other words, you're not sure exactly what happened tonight, is that right?
Defender,
I fought with burning vigor this night.
do not belittle my efforts.
Right.
A knight does not just run away at the sight of fire. Ha!
No one ever said anything about running away.
If I may be perfectly straight with you, the pillar of fire illuminated the area as it rose high into the air. There, by the fire, was the witch, and excluding the 2 unfortunate knaves, I counted 3 others at the scene.
What?
Oh? Have you something to say? Okay. Hang on. Not helpful, but... excuse me, Miss Kira? What do you want? You looked like you had something to say about the testimony just now. Well, it was about the number of people at the crime scene. Have you ever played the Daisy Petal game? Daisy Petal game? 1 witness, 2 witnesses, 3 witnesses, 4 witnesses, 5 witnesses, 6 witnesses. What an adorable game. It seems like something out of a fairy tale. Seriously, Your Honor? Anyway, you may continue with your testimony, witness. Okay, that was completely useless. That flame, I never saw anything like it. Left me speechless, I couldn't so much as scream. It must have been pretty terrifying, huh? Yes, it's the kind of thing you only read about in books. The moment that pillar of fire erupted, I could feel my throat tightening up. It was so difficult to breathe, I couldn't even manage so much as a scream. Quite. After all, the flames engulfed the scene in the blink of an eye. Yes, I'm sorry, that's why I can't really remember. So, you cannot remember the exact number of people at the crime scene? Naturally, that is understandable, witness. That's also why I was a little late getting to the scene compared to the others.
I had the tiniest cry, and when I turned around, the blighters was roasting, so I rushed right over.
Hold it!
Okay. The tiniest cry?
It might have been someone saying the incantation for that spell. My memory's kind of hazy on that one.
Scared me good, though. Never jumped up to me feet so fast in all my life. Nearly had a heart attack, I tell ya.
Jumped up?
That's right. It was still raining cats and dogs, so being the resourceful chap I am, I decided to doze under a tree for a bit.
Oh? Question?
Hang on!
Is everything alright, Mr. Wordsmith? What is it that you want this time, young one? I just wanted to know if you had any thoughts on the testimony just now. Ah, yes. Thoughts about slumbering under a tree, you mean? Slumbering? I often find myself weaving the most intricate of dreams under that very tree. Of course I could not nap tonight, not with that uncouth man usurping my special dreaming spot, could I? Are you using this cross-examination to argue over a napping spot? Let us hope such arguments do not lead to any criminal acts in the future. Witness, please continue with your testimony. Okay. I heard the incantation and the flame suddenly erupted. I'm certain of it. I only saw 3 other people. Could you describe what those other 3 looked like? And are you absolutely certain?
Well, I believe so, but then when you think about it, can anyone really be absolutely certain of anything?
It worries me that you're saying that in the middle of a cross-examination. I believe the witness means that there is no way she can be certain whether there were 4 witnesses or 5 at the crime scene.
Anyhow, there was a matter of great importance that Snowy and I had to tend to.
Ah, you must mean the bucket.
That's right, the milk. If any soot had gotten into that milk, it would have been a tragedy. It would have been a tragedy to end all tragedies.
Oh?
Hang on!
Could I stop you there, mister?
Mister! What? Turn down the volume, Bluey.
That's my line. Does anything come to mind regarding Miss Mary's testimony?
Nope, not really. Not important anyways. I just sort of think this old lady is full of it.
Huh?
I'm talking about the milk, man, the milk! You know, the second you try to stuff, it ain't nothing to write home about, let me tell you.
What are you saying, you dolt? Who on earth let you drink anything as delicious as the milk from my farm? A ruffian like you is better served by whatever unthinkable liquid is in that never-ending mug of yours.
Are you guys using this cross-examination to argue over milk? Let us hope such arguments do not lead to any criminal acts in the future. Witness, please continue with your testimony. That's how you save space on things. As I said, there are only 3 others stumbling around like a newborn calf. So, including yourself, there were a total of 4 witnesses at the crime scene, correct? That is how it has come to pass. By the way, what did you mean by stumbling around like a newborn calf? Ah, yes. That was the man as inebriated as he... That was a man as inebriated as he was loud. Quite the humorous sight it was, I dare say. He must mean that witness permanently glued to his cup of whatever it is he's drinking. When I saw the flames rise up into the sky, I wondered to myself, my word, whatever could that be? However, I could not simply walk over and check. My knees were a bit weak from the shock, you see. And that's when the wobbly-legged gentleman came running over. No, here we go. Hang on! Is something the matter, mister? Mister! Tone down the volume, Bluey, please. Again, that's my line. Sir Blue Knight, next time please think before trying to press this witness. Looks like this guy even managed to scare Barnum half to death. Now then, sir, about Wordsmith's testimony just now. He claimed you were stumbling around. What does he mean by that?
I'm gonna set the record straight right now. Ain't no way I was stumbling around anywhere. I'd like to think of it more like, staggering with style.
A responsible adult should know better than to go stumbling around in the dead of night.
Hey, look, I don't just go stumbling around like some clumsy idiot. I've got more sense than that. But, anyway, I kind of tripped over a large stone. I mean, you don't exactly see what's going on the ground in front of you when you're running a full pelt, right? So, you could say it put me out line for the line, proving that you really need to watch where you're going when you run. How courageous of you. Someone give this guy a medal. My lord, this testimony is a meaningless waste of everyone's time. Well, Defender, is there a point to this particular line of questioning? Is there anything worth pursuing here? What should I do? I want to question further because I don't know what he was running for his life from. The witness stated earlier that he tripped over a large stone. Mister, I have one question for you. Why weren't you watching what was in front of you? Well, to be honest with you, it ain't much of a real reason, but something suddenly caught me attention. Out of nowhere, I sort of heard someone calling out my name. You heard your name? Of course I'd turn around when I heard it. Who wouldn't? When a woman calls your name, you pay attention to When a woman calls your name, you turn around. Oh. Really now? Interesting. So, you heard someone call out, "Hey you," from behind you, you mean? What? I said they called out my name! How many guys you know go out there called "Hey you"? Me name is Emir. Don't you forget it, Bluey. You hear? Oh dear. Well. Which means I think I know exactly where Kira's glasses are. Thank you, Mary. I must say, this gentleman really does not strike me as an Emir. You know, Professor, it's not a very memorable name, is it? Yeah, that's harsh. I guess it doesn't appear to be that way. Honourable witnesses, is there anyone amongst you who's aware of this man's name prior to now? Not at all. He's always just been Mister to me. A knight's name is only as good as the name of the sword he carries.
It is the first time I have heard of this, I dare say. I did not expect his name to be one such as Emir. I'm sorry, but I didn't know his name either. I only remember the names of my most loyal customers. Okay. Looks like absolutely nobody knew this witness's name. You know, it ain't really much of a surprise to me either. But seriously, I definitely heard someone calling me name. When you get to be my age, you really start to wonder when you'll find true love, you know. I thought that pretty voice tonight might be me sweetie. Right. Okay. Your Honor, I do not believe we should be so quick to label Mr. Emir's testimony meaningless. Would you not agree? I request that the witness add this amusing anecdote to his testimony, so we may all point and laugh at him. Understood. I will begin pointing and laughing at him now. Witness, amend your testimony, but please reflect only on the important parts of your story. I'm telling you, I heard someone call me name. I was looking around trying to find them. I hurried to the scene, but then I ended up tripping when I heard someone call me name from behind. Oh boy. Excuse me, Mr. Emir? Don't sweat it, Bluey. Mr. Hey you, it's all the same to me. You stated that you heard your name being called from behind you. Are you absolutely sure about that? Well, right or wrong, it sure sounded like my name. I mean, what else could have it have been?
I wouldn't have remembered it happening if it hadn't heard something, right? Still, maybe there's a chance I imagined it, huh? But anyway, I remember it came from somewhere behind me. For him here. From somewhere behind you. Is something the matter, Mr. Wright? Emir's memory isn't the most accurate, but if what he says is true, then there's definitely something there. Something, you say? Might you mean a contradiction? Yeah, I think so. Although, I don't know, there's just something strange about his testimony. I don't have any decisive evidence in the court record that can help either. Do you mean to say that you found a contradiction that cannot be supported by the evidence?
Objection!
My lord, this line of interrogation is a complete waste of the court's time. Defender, I must warn you, from here on, any unnecessary questioning will be dealt with accordingly. If I don't have answer correctly here, it's curtains for the trial and for his speller. If you are intent on finding a fault in this witness's testimony, you will need to present decisive evidence to back up your claims. There's not a single piece of decisive evidence in the court record. What do I do now? Mr. Wright? Mr. Layton? I have an idea. I believe there is a weapon of sorts with which you may be able to expose this contradiction without the need of evidence. Huh? A weapon? Now, Defender, give us your answer. Yes, Your Honor. The defense finds that the witness's testimony contains a contradiction. He said he heard a name behind him. Oh! His testimony... Right. His testimony states he heard a name from behind him. He was rushing to the scene, but he turned when he heard a name from behind him and ran that way instead. The only person who was behind him was Miss Kira, who said that she was so scared she couldn't even so much as scream. That's the contradiction. Because before, when we do this in the other Ace Attorney games, you'd get like some kind of like written statement from the other person that gets added to the court record. Look at like Miss May's testimony in the second case of the first game. Her testimony contradicts with what what Red White was saying on things. So that's the contradiction. The contradiction is between their testimonies. Your Honor, this defense believes there is a huge contradiction with the witness's testimony.
Objection!
What is this? You must be an even bigger fool than I thought, Sir Blue Knight. You really do not possess even a sliver of common sense, do you?
Objection.
Oh, shit. If I may interrupt for just a moment, Inquisitor Barnum. Allow me to ask you this. What need is there for common sense in a world that forgoes using it? Oh! What a fucking sick counter argument. I need that. That is the greatest line and I am fucking stealing it. What need is there for common sense in your in this debate when you would go when you would live in a world that forgoes using it? I'm stealing that line. Accordingly, I must humbly ask that you discard such a manner of thinking. Whatever do you mean? You have my utmost thanks for placing your trust in me, Mr. Wright. Let us discuss the one remaining weapon in this cross-examination. Remaining weapon? This trial has taught us a valuable new technique to use in the courtroom, has it not? You mean questioning, right, Professor? Indeed it is, Luke. Each of the witnesses in this trial has given their own account of what occurred. Therefore, whenever one witness has testified, the other remaining witnesses have listened. That gives me an idea. In addition to catching a witness off guard and questioning them about another's testimony, there is one more thing. There's something else we can do? There's something else we can get from a 5-person cross-examination? Yeah, headache. That's right, of course! Indeed, Mr. Wright. Contradictions. Should one witness's testimony differ from another's testimony, then I suppose that in itself can also be considered a contradiction, can it not? Testimony contradicting testimony. I never would have thought of that until now. Except we have done that before. Enough, Sir Blue Knight. Are you prepared to present to the court evidence proving the contradiction within this witness's testimony? No. The witness's testimony does not contradict any evidence. It contradicts a testimony. What are you talking about? It is time, Mr. Wright. Have a look at the touchscreen. Okay, I'm looking at the touchscreen. 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 When is something going to change on the touchscreen? Oh, you want me to read this thing that's not on the touchscreen? There you will see testimony of the witnesses in question, as well as those of other witnesses. Keep your eyes peeled and identify the contradicting testimony. Alright, let's give this another shot, Nick. And make sure you don't forget to take a look at the court record too. Alright. I hurried to the scene. Before I ended up tripping, I heard someone calling me name from behind. That flame, I never saw anything like it. I was quite literally speechless. I couldn't even so much as scream.
Objection!
Oh! Oh! The person contradicting this man's testimony is none other than you, Miss Kira. Yes, we get both of them together doing. Are you both pointing at me? At the time of the incident, that man heard someone's voice call his name. That voice belonged to you, Miss Kira. It could not have been anyone else. And yet, in your testimony, you stated that you were in such a shock during tonight's events that you couldn't even speak. This is a clear contradiction.
Objection!
What? What is the meaning of this, defender? Can you really claim to trust this sham of a witness and his sham of a testimony?
Objection!
That man's character is beside the point. His testimony is anything but a sham. He watched the flames erupt. As he watched the flames erupt, his attention was drawn to a voice behind him, which in turn made him fall over. He heard a woman's voice calling his name, a very concrete reason, and reason enough to believe his testimony.
Objection!
If it is as you say, then explain why you feel this witness is somehow responsible. That's right. Why me? People barely hear me when I'm out selling my flowers. That's how soft my voice is. And besides, there was another woman at the scene, wasn't there? Me? What are you getting at, young lady? Do you honestly think a woman at my age would be out late at night in the forest flirting with questionable men? Besides, I didn't even know this pathetic man's name. How could I have called out to him? Neither did I. And even if I did know this man's name, do you really think he's the kind of guy any self-respecting girl would want? Come on, ladies. I'm standing right here, you know? As I was saying, the only person that guy could have heard from behind was you, Miss Kira. The defense wishes to present evidence to prove this claim. You do? Yes, please present evidence, Mr. Wright. But you were the one who said it! It's the same thing, remember? To accuse a witness like this young lady here, why, this is simply unheard of. I must warn you, defender, if you cannot prove your accusation to this court, you'll see the underside of my gavel. Show us the evidence proving this young lady was the one who called out to this man at the time of the crime. She didn't say Emir. She said Amir.
Take that!
This piece of evidence proves it was her. My apologies, but I believe that may not be the correct piece of evidence. What? Yikes. That was fast. Please, Mr. Wright. Having come this far, do not falter here. Mr. Wright, please stop kidding around! Listen to the professor! Think about it, Mr. Wright. We've both been following the same train of thought until now. You may just be one station ahead.
I'm sorry. I have to hurry up and think of something. Fuck! No! Oh, my picker rats! No! Motherfucker! I had that! Right. Now then, I will grant you another chance. Show us the evidence that proves she was the one who called out to this man. Is it just that she's the only person behind him? Fuck off! Don't you dare.
Take that!
Take a look at this and you'll have your answer. Fuck! No! This is the crime scene sketch. You can see the position of each witness during the crime. I thought we already established that! The only person he could have possibly heard from behind him was none other than Miss Kira.
Objection!
Fuck's sake. Listen here, Sir Blue Knight. I will only tell you this one more time. A sham of a witness yields only a sham of a testimony. That is all there is to it. Did you, in fact, see this flower girl's face?
You know, now that you mention it, seeing as I'd fallen down and all, I don't think I saw her face.
Okay, but you heard her voice, right?
Let me think. The voice came out of nowhere. It was kind of high-pitched. I guess it sounded like her, kinda, but I can't say whether or not it was this girl's voice.
And there you have it, Sir Blue Knight. Such a pity.
Huh?
My lord, it is clear that the defence's claim is nothing but a pointless waste of the court's time. I recommend you deliver unto them a penalty befitting such behavior. Indeed, Inquisitor. Ready yourself, defender. What was that laughter? Pardon me, my lord. It looks like you've finally arrived at a decision. That means this has nothing to do with me? Isn't that right, Inquisitor Barnum? What are you saying? I'm saying that it's time for me to stop peddling testimony and get back to peddling flowers. She's trying to leave because she realizes how close we are on this. She's trying to get out at the first chance she gets. It is 100% her. I just need proof of that, and I believe I know where we can find it. I mean, look at all these flowers left over. It's going to take me until sunrise to sell them if I stay here any longer. Or maybe, my lord, you and the rest of the court would be interested in buying out my entire stock of flowers to help a girl out? She's trying to get them to let her go. No, I don't think... I mean... And then it's settled. Now, if you'll excuse me, my apologies for the interruptions. Yes, understood. The court will dismiss this witness. Well, Miss Kira? It would seem you are beginning to show the court your true colors. Oh, whatever do you mean? Okay then, everyone. It looks like that's that.
Hold it!
Wait, you can't leave yet! This cross-examination isn't over! Now, that's funny. You say it isn't over, and yet the rest of the court seems to think otherwise. Isn't that right, Inquisitor Barnum? Okay. The Inquisition maintains that the real witch is the accused Espella Cantabella. This girl is nothing more than a witness. As such, the court cannot force her to stay against her will. This is bad. If they let her walk out now... Nick, do you think she could be... the real witch? Yeah. You really like throwing around accusations, don't you, Sir Defender? Let me spell it out for you, one last time, so everyone can understand. I didn't know this man's name at all before today, and I still don't remember it. So, how could I have called out to him? Do you get it now? Now then, until we meet again, don't forget to buy some flowers on your way home, everyone.
Hold it.
Hey! Ha ha! One moment, please, Miss Kira. Back you come.
Is there something else you wanted?
You don't seem to realize what you just let slip.
What are you talking about?
This man testified that he heard his name called at the crime scene. However, you had no knowledge of his name at the time. Is that correct?
That's right! This weirdo was just imagining things.
Just gotta spell it out? Yeah.
Like I said, I've already forgotten his name, even though he told us it earlier.
There is just one problem, Miss Kira. Namely, what that voice he heard tonight was actually saying.
Huh?
What do you mean? Well, that's obvious. It was a name, wasn't it? Now, what was that name again? My lord, I'm still here, you know. You're saying that what this man heard tonight wasn't a name, but rather something else entirely? Indeed I am, Inquisitor Barnum. Something else? Aha! There's only one other thing that could be. It's a stretch, but the possibility is there. Damn it, I did drop the gun. That's right, Mr. Wright. That single possibility is the key to solving this mystery. Is the defense ready to present its evidence to the court?
This is ridiculous! I demand you let me go this instant!
Witness, what you are being accused of is not to be taken lightly. You will not leave this courtroom so long as any reasonable doubt remains. Now I'm feeling a little bad for Amir. That's fair, that's fair. Defender, you may present your evidence. Show the court what the voice this man heard tonight was really saying.
Take that!
It was Dimir. Emir.
Excuse me, Mr. I'm sorry, what was your name again? You got a name that no one seems to be able to remember for some reason.
Hey, it's me! Me name's Emir, darn it! How many times I've got to say it? No matter the number of times you say it, you do not look like an Emir.
Again, I only remember my most loyal customers' names, and he doesn't look like he could afford even a single daisy.
Come on, guys! Stop kicking a guy while he's down!
Mr. Emir, what you have heard tonight at the crime scene was not your name. Your name just so happens to sound exactly like a certain other name.
Another name?
The answer is right here in this tome. I'm talking about Amir.
Amir?
What he actually heard at the time wasn't his own name. It was the name of a magical incantation!
What the?
Yep. And the only person it could have been was Miss Kira. Miss Kira, have you forgotten what you said just a few minutes ago? You quite clearly stated that you didn't know this man's name.
Objection!
Sir Blue Knight, let me get this straight. You're saying that the Amir heard by the witness was actually said by this flower girl? And that it was not his name but at all, but rather the incantation of a magical spell? The defense proposes the following. The true criminal, this supposed witch, is not the defendant, Mrs. Speller Cantabella. But instead, the witness who was heard uttering the magic incantation, Miss Kira. She's our witch. You used magic to vanish from the scene and tried to frame Miss Cantabella instead.
Also, holy shit, this fucking music, by the way, has been incredible. I've just now got the moment to process it when it gets bigger. No! Oh, what just happened? Is that girl? Is Isabella really not a witch? Unbelievable! I've never heard anything like this! Inquisitor Barnum! Have those two really defeated Inquisitor Barnum?
Objection!
Uh-oh. Okay. What do you got? An impressive display, Sir Blue Knight. It would seem you have finally managed to hone your blade. However, I believe that blade's edge is already beginning to dull. What do you mean? I am referring to a contradiction, naturally. Hey, that's my line! My lord, the Inquisition would like to set the record straight regarding what transpired this evening. Very well, Inquisitor Barnum. Sir Blue Knight, you claim the following. At the time of the crime, the accused, Espella Cantabella, was surrounded by the two rogues. Then, in order to frame the accused as a witch, Miss Kira cast the spell Demir and made herself vanish. She then moved in closer to the victims. Jesus Christ! At which point she cast Ignace, thus causing the incident seen by our witnesses tonight. Indeed, that does seem to be the claim. The problem is what happened next. There is a contradiction in the defense's account of Miss Kira's movements. A contradiction in her movements? Allow me to continue. The witness have stated that they each ventured out towards the crime scene. Why did she appear when she could have just gone home and left completely? Because she dropped her glasses and she needed to find them so that if her glasses were found at the scene, she could show herself there as well. That's where the logic has to go. Yes. That's which is when Miss Kira, the witch, made her way to this point while still invisible. When she arrived at said spot, she then cast Amir and reappeared to join the other witnesses. And there you have it. That is accurate, isn't it, Sir Blue Knight? That's correct. Then Mr. Emir heard her call his name. Well then, I have but one question that I would like you to answer. Why would a witch need to do such a thing? What do you mean? Supposing Miss Kira were a witch, surely she would not have made the conscious decision to reappear when she did. One would imagine she would remain hidden and flee the crime scene entirely.
Oh, quite right! That's what I'd do if I was a witch, which I'm not, by the way. I want that in the record, I am not a witch!
Given that point, there would be no viable reason for her to recite the incantation. In other words, it is inconceivable that this flower seller, Miss Kira, could be a witch.
What? What just happened?
Is that girl? Is Kira really not a witch?
They're using the shots.
Inquisitor Barnum just turned this entire trial right around. Just what I'd expect from the labyrinthian sword of justice. Great. Oh, she broke.
That's right. You all heard it. It's just as Inquisitor Barnum said.
Yep.
Me, a witch. The idea is
It is her. She is the one who had Ignace. I reckon the voice is too familiar. It's too pointed.
Not good. She's completely bounced back onto her feet. Oh, we were so close too.
I can't believe it,
Inquisitor... I can't believe Inquisitor Barnum. Can't he see it? You just have to take one good look at her. It's obvious she's the real witch here. Luke, you sound exactly like these other fuckers who are claiming that take one look at this speller and you can see she's a witch here.
Remember, Mr. Wright, at times like this, a cool head will prevail.
Layton?
Should be Professor. I'm sure you have had to fight your way out of circumstances such as these many times before. This situation is no different. As a defense attorney, what would you do? What would you usually do at such a time?
What would I usually do? Of course. There's only one thing that can get me out of a situation like this. I've got to flip this case on its head and think outside the box. Don't ask why would she reappear. Answer the case of why she had to reappear. Or why she couldn't afford to not reappear.
It would seem the defense has nothing further to add.
Why, of course. That's because everyone knows the truth. They know that girl right there is the real witch. That settles it then. Go ahead and deliver your verdict, my lord.
Objection!
The situation is exactly as you described, Inquisitor Barnum. It really doesn't make much sense for the witch to have used a mirror. Regardless, the defense still maintains that Miss Kira did utter that incantation and make herself reappear. Now the question is, for what reason? If she really didn't have to use that spell, then why use it in the first place? If I can find the answer to that question, then this entire case will start to unravel. Most fascinating. Very well. Allow us to hear this theory of yours. Tell the court why it was necessary for the witch to reappear at the crime scene. Well, we're still in the game. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. The reason Miss Kira reappeared at the scene of the crime was... she had to give herself an alibi. She lost her... So, let's look at the things that we're talking about. She says she lost her glasses a few days before the incident. If we say she didn't... Okay. Mr. Wordsmith... One piece of Mr. Wordsmith's testimony is accounting for this. Her testimony, where she said that she had to lose them a few days ago. She stumbled and stuttered over that. And then Miss Mary's actions are what I think caused this line of thinking. I am thinking that she had to give herself an alibi. She wasn't to become a witness. It was either to give herself an alibi or to become a witness. I know it's not to cover up her crime. Honestly, this is really fucking shit wording, because literally all of these make for good answers. But let's see. If we say that it was to... The big thing with this one is it's a case of which of these could be answered by saying if she's just invisible, it doesn't matter. To cover up her crime doesn't matter, because if you say that, it was... To become a witness, there's no reason for her to become a witness. To give herself an alibi, she doesn't need an alibi, she wasn't there. To cover up her crime, if she's covering something up, I think it has to be this, because she needed to find her glasses that she couldn't find, right? That's got to be it. I can't think of any other possibility. This has to be the answer. Isn't it obvious? She was trying to cover up her own crime. Oh, is that right? Tell me, why would she do that? Well, just give me a minute. I'm getting to that part. That will not be necessary, Sir Blue Knight. Huh? Think about it. What would she have to hide? If no one could have seen her to begin with. You heard the good Inquisitor. No matter how you look at it, there'd be no reason for me to reappear. Assuming I was the criminal, that is. Gah! can't argue with her there.
Objection.
She'd have to cover it up because of her glasses.
Pardon the interruption, but that's not necessarily the case.
Mr. Layton? Explain yourself, Sir Top Hat.
You have stated that Miss Kira had no reason to reappear. However, the situation changed, and it became necessary for her to show herself. Isn't that right, Miss Kira?
Huh? What are you talking about? I have no idea what you mean.
Why don't you punch through the desk, waste so much of the court's time?
It would seem the defense must clarify their argument with evidence.
Mr. Wright, I believe that Miss Kira did not intend to reveal herself at the crime scene. Rather, that something occurred which forced this young lady to make herself reappear.
What was so important that she had to reappear and risk being spotted?
Ooh, bloody hell.
Defender, tell the court why it would have been necessary for the witch to reappear at the crime scene. Her glasses. Bang. Miss Kira, you usually wear glasses, is that correct? Huh? It's like I already told you. I lost my glasses a few days ago. She's stuttering on that because she's trying to remember what she'd said before.
Are you absolutely sure about that?
Or did you not, in fact, lose them tonight? During the crime? Of course not.
Perhaps you accidentally dropped them while you were committing the crime. That would be the sound of sploosh that Mr. Wordsmith heard. Then, as you were attempting to escape, you noticed they were gone.
Martin, it is a pleasure to see you here. We hope you are well. We're not too bad.
Therefore, you made yourself reappear in order to search for your missing glasses.
No! Yes. Oh my goodness. Martin, thank you so much for showing up in an immediate follow. We hope you enjoy your stay here. Thank you very much. It'll be a lot of fun. How absurd. Such baseless conjecture. What you propose is fundamentally flawed.
What do you mean?
Did you eat the flower? Yep. I mean, you can eat daisies. They are edible, I think. You can make a tea out of them at the very least, but reading them raw? Let us assume, hypothetically, that the witch did in fact drop this evidence. That does not explain what purpose it would serve for her to make herself reappear. It would still make more sense for her to escape under the cover of darkness.
Objection.
Nope. Unfortunately, Inquisitor Barnum, such a plan was simply not possible.
What?
Mr. Wright, do you understand what I'm suggesting?
Yes. He means the reason Kira made herself reappear at the crime scene. Okay, we're doing that. Okay, this is it. Defender, enlighten us. Why did the witness feel the need to make herself reappear? She couldn't find her glasses. The answer is simple, Your Honor. She couldn't find her glasses. She could not find them. If you've noticed, she's still not wearing her glasses right now.
Objection!
Hold a moment, Sir Blue Knight. What does that have to do with anything? That's right. It doesn't change a single thing.
Objection!
Yes, it does. That's where you're wrong. In fact, it changes quite a bit. Tonight, the two victims were engulfed by flames, courtesy of a magic spell. That very instant, 4 witnesses saw the flames erupt at the scene. It was at that point that something you didn't expect occurred. You lost your glasses. I played this game. I played Professor Layton as Attorney. I got the game on the 19th back in 2023. Completed it back in January 2024. Awesome. Well, I will preface this now. You spoil anything, you give me your kneecaps. So I'd appreciate it if you didn't, but I hope you enjoy the ride of us figuring this stuff out. I'd suspected it was Kira since she mentioned she dropped her glasses or lost her glasses because she stuttered on when she said she lost them. And then I think it was in the after or slightly before there was a sploosh sound that the wordsmith heard, which didn't make any sense to what that was. And now we have an idea where it's all coming together. That's right. You were scared that if your glasses were discovered at the scene of the crime, you would be suspected of being a witch.
Objection.
What foolishness. Even if her glasses were found, she could simply have explained that she dropped them there days before the crime happened. Not with the mud. Not with the mud. I'm afraid that is not the possibility, Inquisitor Barnum. What did you say? If you recall, it had been raining quite heavily at the crime scene beforehand. Had she stated that she dropped her glasses earlier than the crime, then naturally, one would expect the glasses to be soaked in water and covered in mud. However, the rain had already stopped at the time the crime itself was committed. In other words, one look at the pair of clean, dry glasses would reveal she had dropped them later, thus implicating her as the witch. No! I should have known. I was perfecting my rainfall rending technique in the forest, and not once during the rainfall did I see that flower maiden travelling along the nearby path. That's not all. In order to frame Miss Cantabella as the witch, you needed to leave this witch's scepter behind at the scene of the crime. I see. That would be the most definitive evidence that she is the witch. The objective here was to have somebody else discover the staff at the scene. Alas, that person was I. However, no doubt you came to realize that one can deduce which spells were used simply by examining the magic gems in the scepter. In this case, one can see that the witch must have used Demir to vanish from the site and make her escape. That's why, Miss Kira, you were left with no other option but to reappear at the crime scene. That was the only way for you to avoid suspicion. If someone were to discover your glasses at the crime scene... Have you played the other Layton games on the DS? Yes, we have played the first 3, which you can find on our VOD channel. They were all very fun. We were deciding... We've done the first 3 Layton and the first 3 Ace Attorney games, and we were deciding which one of those we wanted to go back to next. And then we said, why not both? So we're here with both. By reappearing, you'd be able to explain that you simply dropped your glasses when you rushed to see what had happened. What do you have to say to that, Miss Kira? Thank you for backing me up with a cool post, by the way, Layton. That was really cool.
You know, I've let you both ramble on and on, but playtime is over.
Okay.
So that's it, then? I'm a witch because I dropped my glasses?
Yes.
I must have said it how many times now? I lost my glasses days ago.
Yes.
Were you even listening? I'll say it again.
Oh.
Over 1,000,000 times. I lost my glasses. I lost my glasses. Do you like evidence, Sir Defender? Do you love proof, Sir Top Hat?
I recognize that voice.
At the crime scene. You can't prove it.
Oh, but I think I can.
In other words,
I think I can.
you lose.
Oh, Miss Kira, there are a couple of pieces of evidence which help me with this. Wordsmith's testimony that he overheard a sploosh sound, the fact that Mary had kept her eyes on the bucket the whole time and immediately taken it away from the crime scene, and the fact that you could not find your glasses there. There was only one thing that was removed from the crime scene that night, and unbeknowingly, by Mary, she also took your glasses away. They're in the bucket. I'm calling it now. I'm definitively stating it. But that is correct. Proving such a thing would indeed be impossible. To prove that the witness dropped her glasses at the crime scene. What say you, Inquisitor Barnum? 'Tis indeed a question of proof, my lord. These glasses have been missing from the very beginning. The Knights of the Inquisition found no traces of these glasses anywhere near the crime scene. Therefore, this witness cannot in any way be accused of being a witch. You heard the man. But we were so close!
That girl is a witch! Can anyone else see that?
Luke, maybe you should go to have a nap.
Yes, I should! I'm gonna take a nap right here! Good night! What should we do, Professor?
Well, it would seem the young lady has finished what she had to say. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Wright?
Yes, it certainly looks that way, Professor Layton. What the... What's with that face? Did you find something funny here?
It is as you said, Inquisitor Barnum.
Explain.
The defense raises just one further question. Why were you unable to find those glasses?
What do you mean? You must have searched the area quite thoroughly, looking for them. And yet, even now, the knights have been unable to locate those glasses. Did you ever wonder why?
Yes, that has become quite the mystery. Surely they must be around somewhere.
The glasses were lost to the wolves. That's the only explanation.
There is still one remaining place that you have not searched tonight.
What did you say?
The glasses were supposedly not found at the crime scene, leaving only one other possible place.
What is this? You two.
Have at you, Sir Blue Knight. Draw your blade and reveal to the court where the glasses are supposedly hiding.
Looks like I've somehow managed to make it through my first witch trial. It all comes down to this, the final piece of evidence. Time to clear up this case once and for all.
I leave the rest in your capable hands, Mr. Wright.
The piece of evidence pointing to the one place not searched tonight is... Tonight, there was one thing that was carried away from the crime scene under everyone's noses. Carried away? I am speaking, of course, about this. That's the milk bucket that disappeared from the crime scene.
Thus far, the defense's claim that the glasses were dropped at the crime scene has been regarded as mere speculation. However, if Miss Kira, we find your glasses within the contents of this milk bucket, then our mere speculation will suddenly become fact.
What manner of witchery? What are you talking about? You're crazy. Just crazy. No way. My glasses be inside that stupid bucket. It's impossible. How about we quit with the speculation and actually find out? What do you say, Inquisitor Barnum? That'll just waste the court's time. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them.
'Tis mandated that the Knights of the Inquisition investigate any and all possibilities during the course of a trial.
Milord, the Inquisition requests that this milk bucket be searched immediately.
Very well. I'll just fish my hand around in this bucket here. I should have rolled up my sleeve first for this, but it's curdling. Oh no! Oh, what? What? Oh, could someone get me an old rag to wash this off with, by the way?
Miss Kira? As you can see, your glasses have been found inside the milk bucket. The truth is out. Nothing you say can change that now.
Which leads us to the next question. Specifically a question of when When did you drop your glasses into the bucket of milk?
What? Why is this happening? This whole thing is ridiculous! The answer is obvious, isn't it? I dropped them afterwards, after I ran over to see the fire. I took a tiny peek inside the milk bucket. That's when they fell in.
Don't be stupid, child! Snowy and I were at the scene first. We made sure to take that bucket before anyone else could get their grubby little hands on it. We weren't going to let a single soul get anywhere near that sweet, creamy bucket of deliciousness. You can bet my farm on that.
Each of these 4 witnesses has stated they heard the spell Ignace being cast at the time of the incident. According to the Grand Grimoire, Ignace summons a circle of flame within a 1-meter radius of the caster. In other words, the real witch must have been at Miss Cantabella's side at the time of the incident. Indeed. That is when the glasses fell into the milk bucket, corroborated by Mr. Wordsmith's testimony of hearing the sound. Therefore, there is only one logical conclusion. Only one person who could be the true witch. Yep. And that person is you!
Miss Kira, you are the real witch.
Hell yeah. Holy. Ooh, that's a face full of flowers.
Actually, how did she get that face there like that? Because there's a... Ooh, she just got whacked by the handle, I think. Oh shit, she's in there immediately! Huh!
What a very strange trial this has been. From the very beginning, we have all paid witness to a most unusual set of circumstances. A baker turned defender, a surprise extra witness, and now a not guilty verdict for the accused. Never have I seen such a spectacle.
Not bad, not bad. Is this really happening? The girl inside the cage? You mean she's the real witch? But what about that Isabella Cantabella girl?
Miss Kira,
Yep.
tell us why.
Yeah.
Why were you trying to frame Miss Cantabella?
I mean, she could just say she was trying to defend her, but then framing doesn't make any sense.
You could easily have escaped the crime scene without a trace. There was no reason to frame anyone.
Layton, we just went over why that's not the case!
This crime was a result of nothing but your overwhelming ill intent.
To frame a person as a witch
Is
is to condemn that person to death by fire.
Yes, indeed.
Surely you must know this.
All right, let's
So
see if I get back to
why Isabella Cantabella?
Do you have any idea what it feels like to be a witch?
No, I can't say I do.
What it feels like.
I didn't ask for this.
Oh.
I didn't ask for these
Man.
powers, but I have them. And now here I am, begging for my life.
Uh-huh. I just want to see the voice actor, because I recognize that voice. Sorry.
I was living such a peaceful life until now. Flowers.
Karina
By my
Reeves.
boss for not selling enough of them.
Let's see. Do I recognize you from anything? No. I must be thinking of something else. Yeah, no, I don't know you from anything. You're not anything that I recognize. A couple of Final Fantasy Endwalker things. You're a lot in Final Fantasy XIV. That was like our next big break after this. First thing was in Xenoblade Chronicles. She's also in Dark Souls 2. Rosabeth of Methlen. And Milfanthio, if that means anything to anyone. It's not been in much. But I do recognize that voice.
To put an end to these trials once and for all.
Oh? What do you
Put
mean?
an end to the trials.
What do you mean?
You all know what I mean? The one condition written in the story that will end these witch trials.
Huh?
When the great witch Bezella has been put to the flames and vanquished from this world, these trials will come to an end.
You are saying she is Bezella.
This was my chance to finally end all this. At least that's what I thought. The sun had begun to set on that lonely forest path, and there wasn't a soul in sight. I always always carried my hidden Telea Magica with me in case of a moment like this. I used my magic to expose that girl for what she really is.
The
If
Great
I had
Witch
been
Bezella.
successful, then all these trials would finally end and I could go on living my peaceful life.
Interesting. Is that...
What? What are you saying? Am I hearing this correctly?
I believe you are.
Are you
Actually accusing? Yes.
Estella Cantabella?
Yes, that's the thing with his voice that you do. You have to go down into it as well. You keep it up there, and the court finds everything. Yes, you have to go down. Sorry, this is just my way of trying to make sure I can get into his voice more
Why do
easily.
you think no one has ever seen the legendary Great Witch?
Because she's the legendary Great Witch? I don't fucking know, 'cause she doesn't exist.
Because she's been hidden in our midst the entire time.
Oh, you could say that she is... Oh my god! Sorry, I couldn't resist doing that. I'm not going to play the sound effect again, mainly because I didn't have it pulled up.
She's protected. She's hidden from us. It's all
How?
part of the story.
How? How can you... You're making these baseless accusations.
Objection! That's enough! Speak no more. A witch's existence cannot be justified.
Oh boy.
No, please. I know you've all noticed it too.
Noticed what? What have you noticed?
You could end this. All of this. That girl. It's all because of that girl. I beg you. Please. Please release me.
Uh-oh.
Knights of the court. Isn't it your duty to protect the people of this town? Give me another chance.
Yeah, but you're a witch, so this is gonna go to racism and be like, you're a witch, so you aren't a person of the town. Protect the people, not
That's where
witches.
you're wrong.
Yes. Okay. How so? He's gonna turn around and be like, it's not for you, it's for everyone
It
else.
is indeed a knight's duty to protect. We are impelled to protect the citizens of Labyrinthia against you and your
Yep.
ilk.
Ooh.
The reason you were offered my protection until now was because your guilt was uncertain. There was the possibility that you were not a witch. The circumstances were such that it seemed another was guilty.
But that is no longer the case, is it?
That possibility has since disappeared, and your innocence along with it. You now find yourself at the other end of my sword.
Oh man, this is still hard to watch.
Vile witch, enemy of Labyrinthia, may the fires purge you from this land.
Hold it. Please wait. Stop. Please just stop this.
Espella!
What are you doing, Espella?
If it means putting an end to these horrible trials.
Yeah?
Let me take her place. Let me be Bezella. Send me to the flames.
But you're not, if you're not Bezella, then that won't help. That will just put an innocent person. No.
This trial has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that this flower seller, Kira, is a witch.
Yep.
And according to the law, all those found to be witches will be executed.
In fire. Okay, well.
Did he say executed?
Bitch, what the fuck? You showed up here! Do you remember the first thing that happened when you showed up into the court was watching someone burn, Phoenix?
Ready the fire.
Oh, shit. Oh, we got a cool cutscene.
No! Don't do this!
Oh. Oh.
Listen to me. Don't let her fool you. Espella is the Great Witch. Hear me. There's no time to waste. She's Bezella. Take her. And then these witch trials will be no more. The witch trials will end.
Oh! That is such a fucking sick cut off. That's so fucking... Again, Peggy 12. Chill. So far, we've always managed to pull off a win and get a not guilty verdict. But I has never felt this depressing. Oh, Isabella, are you alright? Yes. I just want to thank all of you. You all came to my rescue yet again. Well, yeah, of course we did. Hold on a sec, Isabella. What? What did you just say now? You all came to my rescue yet again? You don't mean... Yes, I remember everything. I remember the last trial. I suppose that makes this the second time we've met, and the second time all of you have helped me.
Oh? Mr. Wright, am I to infer that you and Isabella have met before?
Yeah, it seems that way. You too, Mr. Layton?
Perhaps it would be best if we briefed each other on what has transpired.
Okay, what should we discuss?
What happened in London? Isabella paid us a visit in London. She had in her possession a letter from an old acquaintance of mine.
Is that right?
Mr. Accidente helped drive Isabella straight out of Labyrinthia.
You both kept me safe from the witches that were chasing me. Wait, did you say witches? So they appeared in London too?
Regrettably, I am unable to say that our protection was absolute. When we saw you last, it seemed you'd managed to escape, courtesy of that passing freighter.
Oh yeah, that's right! What happened to you after that, Isabella?
I rode the ship along the river for a while before arriving at a nearby port. And then... That's when I met Mr. Wright and Mr. Meyer.
Yes. What should we discuss? We'll discuss what happened on the ship.
I didn't know where the ship would end up. I felt very lonely out there.
Please, accept my sincerest apologies. I'm afraid there was nothing else I could do to prevent it.
No, please, don't blame yourself, Mr. Layton. I just didn't know what to do, so I tried to look for something. Anything on the ship that might help me. Boy, you sure found something, alright. Or rather, someone. You ran into a master thief working as part of the ship's crew. Yes, that's right.
Did you say master thief? Crikey, that's amazing!
I wouldn't exactly say it was amazing. After that, I was taken to court, and that's when Mr. Wright helped me.
I see. Then perhaps, somewhere deep within your mind, must have existed a memory of that previous trial, and of Mr. Wright. Hence why you thought to seek out his help when you found yourself in such an unfortunate situation this evening.
That makes sense. After all, Nick did make legal history that day in jolly old England.
Did he say he made history? Wow, that's incredible, right, Professor?
I wouldn't exactly say I made history. But then, after that, I was never able to find my way back to the Professor. Even after I went through the pains of finding that clue, it ended up being taken away from me.
A clue, you say?
Yes, the tag that was hanging around the neck of that sweet little stuffed toy.
That tag? Is it a clue? A clue for what? Okay, what should we discuss? The stuffed toy's tag.
I had a lot of time to think while I was on that ship. I thought about a lot of things. Like how to try and find a way back once the ship arrived at its destination. Things like that.
Find a way back?
A way back to Mr. Layton and Luke. They were the only ones I knew who I could depend on to help me.
The pleasure was ours, Isabella.
But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't remember the name of the town where they lived.
Huh? Oh, you mean London, Isabella?
Yes. Oh, that's it! London! That's what it was written on the Carmine's letter to Mr. Layton. The blue teddy bear I found in that room was wearing a tag around its neck.
Sorry, Espella, but PC Badger looks nothing like a teddy bear. On the tag in very small letters was written London. I recognized the name of the town. I thought it might be an address. That's because that stuffed toy was used in a special promotion run by the London Metropolitan Police. Oh, that's right! Espella, you must have known that address was super important, so that's why you kept the tag, right? That way you could meet up with Mr. Layton and Luke again. I just felt so lonely and helpless. No wonder, though. Who do you think really did it? Hit Olivia over the head with a pipe, I mean. What's this? Oh, yeah, I guess we never did find out who the real culprit was. I do believe that may have some connection to the group of witches. What? You mean the witches that were chasing us through London? Indeed. It could be that they noticed your escape on that ship and managed to infiltrate their own way on board. Could it be? So, you're saying there was some big scary witch lurking around the inside of that cargo hold? I'm afraid there is a rather high possibility that was the case. Those witches were intent on seeing you brought back to Labyrinthia, no matter what. However, in order to do so, they had to make certain you did not become entangled in any situation that may stall your capture. Ah, in other words, the situation with Miss Al Dente, you mean? Precisely. They must have knocked that crew member unconscious and attempted to recapture Espella before the police could arrive. However, their plan was clearly foiled, given that you ended up in court regardless. And that's when she became my client. I just can't clearly remember anything that has happened back then. Do you think there's a possibility that someone was pulling Espella's strings through the entire trial? Hey, maybe you're right. There was something a little strange about Espella at the time. Mr. Wright, Espella was introduced to you at the time as a schoolgirl, is that correct? Yes. How did you know? I watched the trial. She would have had no knowledge of the world outside of Labyrinthia. That being the case, having her stand in an English courtroom, as she was, would pose a serious problem. Your Layton voice is on point. Thank you very much, we do try. It's mainly the cadence of going up and then down, following it along in the way that he would speak. That is what really is important. It's not just the voice, it's but how you use the cadence of it as well. Meaning that someone must have been attempting to cover up Espella's identity.
What? But, Professor, could someone really do that?
That they could indeed, Luke. And if it is as I suspect, I believe our adversaries may be far more powerful than we originally thought. Just exactly who or what are we dealing with here? Oh. Hey, guys. Let's head back to the bakery for now. I bet the boss is waiting for us with one heck of a pastry feast. Oh, actually, I can't go home just yet. Huh? You can't? Aww. Well, there are still a couple of legal procedures to be taken care of before I can go home. Please, you all go on ahead without me. Is that so? Very well. I really must thank you all. Thank you so much for everything. Alrighty then, Espella. We'll catch you later. Yes. Farewell for now. Okay. And now what do we do? Mr. Wright, please allow me the pleasure of a proper introduction. My name is Herschel Layton. I'm a professor of archaeology in London. A professor, huh? Well, my name is Phoenix Wright. I'm an attorney. As I suspected, you were no ordinary baker after all, Mr. Wright. Yeah, I thought it was pretty weird myself, to be honest. I mean, I really did believe I'd been a baker all my life. But the more everyone kept saying it, the less sure I was that it was actually true. Just where did that memory come from, anyway?
Hey, Professor! If Mr. Wright is an attorney, that must mean he's as smart as you, right?
I'm afraid I really can't say, Luke.
But... behind every ace attorney, there's an even smarter, not to mention beautiful, witty, and utterly amazing ace assistant.
I think you also forgot humble.
Well, my name's Luke Triton. I'm the Professor's apprentice. I'm Maya Fey. And Nick here is my apprentice. Isn't that right, Nick? Nicky boy? Nicky boy? Hey, wait, why am I your apprentice?
I've never played this game. It's fun. Not touched. It's a lot of fun, Shaman. It's a very, very fun story.
The way that it seems to be meshing the two together is it's the court cases from Phoenix Wright and some of the story elements from there in a puzzle game of Professor Layton, and it's so fucking well done. I love it. It blends beautifully together. Anyway, we really all should head back to the bakery. Let's get a move on. I'm sure Isabella will be back before we know it. I would not get your hopes up about that, Sir Blue Knight.
Hello, Barnum.
Inquisitor Barnum!
Most impressive work tonight. 'Tis a shame you have kept such ability hidden until now.
Trust me, Nick's lawyer abilities beat the pants off his baking abilities any day of the week. Okay, moving on. What did you mean by that, Inquisitor? Why can't Isabella go home?
New charges have been brought against Miss Isabella Cantabella.
What? No way! That can't be right!
You have realized it, haven't you? She is being charged under suspicions of being the Great Witch Bizella.
What?
How can that be? Am I to assume that charge is based purely on Miss Kira's accusation? It was not I who made the decision.
Huh? This game takes before Apollo Justice then? Is my restaurant? I don't fucking know. I haven't played Apollo Justice. I can't answer that question.
Regardless, the girl will return to court at the appointed time for further trial. Until then, I am to seek out any and all evidence pertaining to the Great Witch. Pardon me, Inquisitor. When exactly is this appointed time?
I loved them as a kid. They are a lot of fun.
The investigation into this allegation will conclude on the day of the storyteller's next parade. That would be 2 weeks from today. Following our investigation into the matter, the trial of the Great Witch shall proceed. What the? It would appear the girl has been withholding a dark secret from you all. Isabella.
Isabella Cantabella's questioning is set to begin shortly. That means visiting hours are over.
I recommend you leave immediately.
Fair enough. New accusations with new charges, or is she wanted too? She's not wanted. She's in for questioning of this. Isabella, the legendary Great Witch Bizella?
The story that dictates the fate of an entire town, and now a so-called Great Witch named Bizella. Most intriguing. It would seem to be up to us to uncover the answers to these mysteries.
But how are we supposed to manage it all in 2 weeks? Where are we going to find any evidence? You know, I was thinking. How do you address a Great Witch? Hail to thee, O magnificent magical one? Or maybe just something casual like, what's up, witchy baby? What difference would it make? She's called a Great Witch. It's not someone I'd ever want to meet.
I believe I've thought of a solution to our problem. It's actually rather simple.
Professor Layton?
Allow me to explain, Mr. Wright. The only way we may be able to solve the mysteries of this town and its residents is if we join forces.
He's right. We've come this far. There's no way we're just gonna give up on a speller. Alright, I'm on board. I look forward to teaming up with you, Professor. Me too, Luke. Well, me too, Maya.
Now then, shall we press on? This marks the beginning of our own story, one dictated by ourselves and written by our own hands.
Woo! Hell yeah. She should claim she was the Great Witch since she felt guilty about the last girl. I don't know. Well, she didn't claim she's the Great Witch. She said, if it would mean an end to this and spare her life, I'll do it. No, that should have been 500 picker ads. Boo. Ah, do you want to save? Yes, we do. And that will be where we end things off for today. Oh, blimey, 4 bit hours. Nice 4 hours on that. That was pretty good, that. Next time, I'll be here for Chapter 4, which will involve the words the Chapter 3, excuse me, the Great Witch. And that's what we'll do next time. Because for now, that is where we're going to go ahead and end things off here. That's, yep, we're not even going to look at that next bit of stuff. Just going to get off from there, and that'll do. We already saved, so don't have to worry about that. But that's pretty good. Damn, I joined as the stream ends. Panda, no! Oh! Oh no, Panda, you had a perfect timing there for right as it ends. But yeah, I like, it's not a case of we'll do one chapter at a time. It just worked out that it kind of lasted 3 and a bit hours, so I'm happy doing 3 and 4 hours here. I think going much longer than that is going to destroy our voice, and we won't be able to do much tomorrow, which, speaking of tomorrow, we will be back for some more Slay the Spire. Next week, we'll continue on with this, and we'll see how far into things we end up getting. That said, YouTube, that is where we're going to head and end off the stream, but if you want to come on over, be a part of the Twitch raid to continue on some entertainment for yourselves, twitch.tv/ultrasonicblur is where you can do all of that. But either way, we hope that you have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you may find yourself orientated within this universe, and we hope that you take care. Alright, wonderful. Quick editing studio on that. Real quick details on you. Set you to private so nothing matters. Yada da 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 da. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. Yes, and then as we were saying, Twitch, we are going to be doing Slay the Spire 2 tomorrow. It should be a lot of fun. And then next week we'll continue with this. In case you can't tell, it's very likely that we'll be alternating between the two of them, and that's how we'll work things. But of course, we'll let you all know all that kind of stuff when we know. And if you want to know what it is we're going to be doing, when we're going to be live, all that other good stuff, and any other information about any videos or anything that we're making, well, there's a very easy way you can find all that stuff out. All you'll need to do is go down below where you can find and follow some more information about when we're going to be live, what we're going to be doing, and all the good stuff. But until next time, thank you to everyone who has found, followed, and stuck around on our stream. We hope that you'll stick around for our raid. But either way, we've been Ultrasonic Blur, you nerds have been a fantastic audience, and we shall see you all next time.